All right, all right, all right. It looks like we are live. Welcome back to yet another BriHive Live. I feel like it's been forever since we have been in the live stream because it kind of has like almost a week and a half. And surprisingly, we already have a verdict back in the Clayton Echard and Laura Owens. I was about to say Lauren the Morticia. Her name's not even Lauren. Laura Owens paternity case where she claimed that he was the father of her unborn twins, I guess, and then at one point just a son, and also that she never even went to the doctor to try to figure it out. So a ruling came back in that case super fast. I thought that the judge was going to take a little while because the mothers if we can call her that, Lauren Owens attorney was on a cruise or is on a cruise, so I thought maybe that the judge would wait until after he came back from the cruise because I kind of anticipated the verdict going in favor of Clayton, and he is going to want to appeal. Laura's attorney is going to want to appeal. He's basically already said something, but like, man, you're supposed to be on a boat. Why are you letting us know your intentions to appeal? And the reasoning behind the appeal just kind of sucks. So I looked into that a little bit. I'm not super familiar with what's going on with the appeal or the intent to appeal. But I did watch a couple of videos on it, and I just thought the reasoning was just so dumb. It just didn't make sense. So welcome back to another BriHive Live. If you don't know what we're talking about today, we are going to get into the juicy details of the nonsense that happened with the Bachelor, Clayton Echard, and Laura Owens. Basically, trying to falsify him as the daddy of her unborn and unknown children. And when I tell y'all the verdict is like spicy, like you have to read into the spiciness of the judge and what she found to be not credible and not reasonable. A lot of things the judge found that Laura did was not reasonable. So we're going to jump right into it. If you haven't hit the like button, make sure you do hit the like button. It helps us out in the algorithm. It helps us get more friends watching live and just watching the channel in general. And again, welcome to all the new subscribers that have really come from this case. Welcome in, and welcome back to all the OG subscribers for joining in live. Nice to see y'all again. So let me go ahead and see where we're at with the like goal. And then from there, we'll set our like goal for the live stream. We're at 14 likes with 21 people watching live. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do. Like I said, it helps us out in the algorithm, and we're gonna set the like goal for 100 likes. We're gonna shoot for the stars. We don't have a lot of people in here tonight, but let's see if we can make it to the 100 likes for the live stream. And I am going to jump into the chat to see who is here watching live. So if you haven't made a comment and you want to say hello, make sure you drop a comment in the chat box so that I can say hello. And then we're going to jump into the messiness that is the tea that the judge gave us as far as what she considered relevant in the case and what she didn't consider relevant. I don't know if you guys have reviewed this, but I feel like, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, because I just started following this case maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So maybe I'm not all the way down with the facts, but it seems like she got some of the procedural facts incorrect and some of the like numbers incorrect. But let me know what y'all think about it. I'll try to point them out as I go along. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the chat and say hey to everyone. So let's get Bossy B in here. We haven't seen her in a week and a half. Let's get to work. All right, let's see who we got. We got Leela Wells saying hi, dropping in super early because I actually posted the video early. So welcome in to Leela Wells, member of the channel, saying hi, hello. I hope you are here watching live. We got Lola Waterton. Welcome back to yet another live stream. Nice to have you back, saying hi. We got Jermaine Down saying good evening. JFC cult members always forget the secret handshake. Welcome in. Nice to have you in tonight. Not the cult. We're calling this a cult? No. Okay. We got Sarah saying hi, hello, welcome in. Nice to have you in tonight. We got Island. Welcome back, saying hey, another member of the channel. Nice to have you in the live stream tonight. We got Sarah saying, how are you? Me? Well, thank you. I am doing okay. It's been a long week. Y'all, I don't know what it has been, but I've been super tired and I've been going to bed at like 8 o'clock, which is bad because I'm supposed to be putting out more content. I know, Kimmy, don't yell at me. But I've been going to sleep at like 8 o'clock and sleeping through the entire night. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm gonna have to figure it out. But I am doing well. How are you? How's everyone in the chat doing? We got Tiffany saying, I'm surprised Janet isn't trying to get in on this case. Are we talking about Jeanette Braun? Jeanette Braun? I have some updates on that case too. I think I want to do those as pre-recorded. Pre-recorded though is what I meant to say, to compare and contrast the reply to the response to the motions to strike and motions to dismiss. It's a lot, so I'm trying to like gather everything so that I can do like release these different videos to go over what Lauren the Mortician has going on, and not what Lauren the Mortician, what the plaintiffs in the Lauren the Mortician and Jeanette Braun case are saying versus what the defendants are saying in that case. So I'm working on that. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Shauna Lee saying, hi, new here. Thank you for covering this case. Hello and welcome in. Nice to have you in tonight. We got, I see you, John Smith. We got Cat Lady Ballerina saying, hello, 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 and welcome back. I love that name. It's pretty cute. Okay. We got Jen Edward and Leonidas the Kitty. Hello and welcome in saying, hey, BriHive. Hello and welcome in. Nice to have you tonight. We got Christopher. I always miss, I think I got it right that first time this time, saying, hey, Bri. Hey, BriHive, long time no see. Glad to be able to join your live for a bit tonight. We are happy to have you back. Welcome, welcome into the live stream. Have you been listening to this case and covering this case? Let me know. We got IB0093 saying, hi, Bri. There is a big live in parallel. A big live in parallel. Someone else is live right now. Is that what you're saying? I'm like, am I reading this right? I'm thinking that someone else is live right now, right? We got Jen Edwards and Leonidas the Kitty becoming a member. Hello and welcome in as a member. Welcome to the membership of the channel. Nice to have you joining us tonight. And while we're talking about memberships, let me just remind everyone, if you're a member of this channel, you do get cool badges next to your name, cool emojis that I've designed myself. And if you know me, I'm not artistic, so I'm very proud of the emojis that we have. And also we have a once a month members live stream where the members get to come onto live stream and talk about the nonsense that are cases that we cover on this channel. So I actually need to do one for June. So I need to actually put out some dates for the BriHive Live in June. And it's probably going to be a Thursday because all of my weekends are pretty much booked. So there's that. So welcome into the membership. Nice to have you. We got Kimmy impersonating me in the chat. We got Kimmy Locker saying, hi, BriHive. Hello and welcome in, Kimmy, our member, moderator, consultant, and paralegal of the channel, and also the impersonating person that put hi, BriHive, and then copied Kimmy, and then Kimmy copied and said hi, BriHive, because it's Kimmy. She's impersonating me. No, just kidding. Welcome in, Kimmy. We got, let me see where we're at. Oh, okay, here we go. Kimmy says, what the heck, YouTube keeps making me impersonate Bri, but I swear it's not my fault. And if you see it on my end, the lettering of that message that you have is like lines through it, and it makes it look like your computer is glitching. It's really weird. So I don't know what's going on with your computer there. Tiffany says, Gringus calls us a cult. Clayton's crazy cult, except he uses K's. He's sick. Oh my gosh, he's ridiculous. Ridiculous. We got Dan Usher saying, I would love that. I don't usually fall asleep till around 2, then wake up around 6. And sometimes I get like insomnia, but this week has just been sleep. Don't know what's going on with me. I think I already read that one. Kimmy Locker says, okay, I already read that one. Impersonating. We know how you are, Kimmy. No, Tiffany says the girlies handshake Clayton's cult. Exactly. What did she say? What did she say? If CFJ, or what is it? JFC is going to be like making faces. I can't do this. I can't do it. And the judge points that out too. Like it's the verdict is a little messy. It got a little tea in it. Okay. We got Bruce from Oregon. Hello, saying ahoy, ahoy. Welcome in. We got IB0093 saying yay, more JFC. Yes, one more. I think we got one more in us until the appeals start coming out, right? We got Sheezy, a member of the channel. Welcome back, saying, hey, joining a couple minutes late, but so happy to be here. Don't forget to like the stream. Yes, of course, if you haven't already, please do hit the like button. Our like goal for the live stream is 40 likes, so let's get there. I don't know where we're at right now. We'll check on it a little bit later. We got Bruce from Oregon saying, Tug and Megan are live. Omar was live 24/7. Clayternity continues. Oh, okay. I didn't know everybody was alive. Oh no. But no, this is my live stream time, so I'm not even gonna say oops, okay? I've been live streaming at this time for like months, okay? Since last year. So this is my stream time. But either way it goes, I'm happy to have other creators live streaming at the same time. Everyone can have friends, right? We can all be each other's friends. Let's see. Just Stacy says, hi everyone, hello and welcome in. We got Kristen the first saying to me, haha, you got the name right. I watched your coverage of the 2-hour hearing, so that's all I know about the case. Okay, yeah, we're still on it. The case is over, but they're going to appeal it. I don't know why. Just stop, okay? She has to stop. And we're going to talk about it, but Laura is being referred to the DA for her perjury. Isn't that insane? It is insane. And I've watched a couple people cover it, but no one, they were like, if they report her to the DA, if they report her, no, it's in the order. The judge is going to refer her to the DA for her perjury. Cat Lady Ballerina says, I mean, if I accidentally joined a cult, this one is such a nice cult and honor to have been included in this cult. Really, yes, exactly. If any cult you're going to join, why not a YouTube / JFC cult? Why not, right? We don't want to be in all those other weird cults where you have to unalive people and stuff. So there's that. It's a lot better than that, right? Tiffany says the judge clocked her big time. They are shaking in their boots and they just need to sit down somewhere. Nicholas Hall says it doesn't stop. Have you heard about the new blog and Medium article and the deleted Facebook page? No, I have not. I have been at work and sleeping, y'all. Bruce from Oregon says, were you here? We're here for you. Well, I'm happy to have you guys in the live. Cat Lady Ballerina says, hey, we're all here, so all the important people are present. Yes, exactly. We love all the other YouTubers too, but the BriHive is where it's at. The BriHive that's where it's at, okay? Tiffany said, I make sure to have your live notify me. Well, I love it. Welcome in. Nice to have you here. We have Kimmy Locker saying the judge rejected her so hard, she's probably gonna be accused of fathering twins soon. It wasn't Clayton that it was my baby daddy. The judge is my baby daddy / baby mama. Boots on the ground says boots shaking. Yep, exactly. Came right in time. Okay. Deacon Fado, another member and moderator of the channel. Welcome back into the live stream saying, there we go. Freaking YouTube. Okay, you made it to a live. Welcome. We got IB0093 says, yes, we want to support you. Well, I'm happy to have you all here. We have someone wanting to make an appearance. Y'all, employee that doesn't work is back. So you want to say hello to the BriHive?
Hi. I'll be back, next week?
You're going to join the live stream?
I'll join next week. You guys can hold me to that.
Okay. For those of you who do not know who Alpha is, this is my husband that plays music downstairs while I live stream. And he used to be a part of the show, but he doesn't show up to work because I don't pay enough, apparently. I don't pay anything.
That's not what it is. I just been a bit too busy, so I'll make an appearance next week. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
Well,
all right, baby.
Have fun. Please don't turn up the music too loud.
I'm actually about to run some errands.
Okay. See you later. Bye. Okay. We got Tiffany saying, wrote a Medium article. Please look into it. Okay, I'll look into it. Kimmy, do you have that? Do you have it? Kimmy Locker saying, Cat Lady Ballerina, just honey. And Kimmy Locker says, Alpha sighting. I know we should have did a bingo today, huh? We should have done a bingo. Hello Swanky says, hey BriHive, hope everyone is well. Hello, member or moderator of the channel. Welcome back. Nice to have you in. Kimmy Locker says, Alpha's replacement is kind of cool though. It's Kimmy who impersonates me. So I don't know. Kimmy, I don't know if impersonating me is better than not showing up. Kimmy Cat Lady Ballerina says, oh, is that your hubby? He's cute. Thank you very much. He is mine and he is cute. Deacon Beto says, hi, Alpha husband. He has walked out now. Christopher also saying hi to Alpha. We got Nicholas Hall saying, welcome to the cult, Alpha. I don't know if he's in the cult. He knows a little bit about the case, but not a lot. Kimmy Locker says, I'll get it for the bingo. Deacon Fiddle says, headphones, Alpha. If he's going to come on next show, I'm going to need to get another microphone because he can't use my microphone. It costs too much money. I don't want to share with him. IV0093 says, Gringus wrote a crazy blog yesterday too. He's supposed to be on a cruise. Like, is he married? Is his wife not upset? Like, what is going on? Missy Ann says, hi, I'm a little late, but catching up. No problem. We're still saying hi to everyone. We got Kimmy Locker saying, how very dare you? It's imitation supposed to be the most sincere form of flattery or something. Yeah, exactly. But impersonation, I don't know about that one. Deacon Vado said headphones for the music. Oh yeah, no, he likes to blast the TV and use the surround sound, or he'll turn it down, but the surround sound is still on, so it's still like booms and things like that. So there's that. Let me I'm just running my mouth here, so I'm trying to catch us up. And then we're going to jump into it because, like I said, it's spiciness. It is real spiciness. And y'all know my bedtime is 8 o'clock this week. So I don't know how late I'm going to stay up. Just me, MD. Welcome back. Another member of the channel saying, hi, BriHive. I made it buzzing in late, yet made it, and sending love from East Texas. Weather still bipolar and pollen still popping. It is back. Super hot out here, but welcome in, Just Me MD. Nice to have you back. I hope the pollen stops popping soon for you. I have not had much allergy issues over the last couple of weeks. IV0093 says he's nuts. Man, I can't even imagine. And I have not personally read one of his blogs because it's just what I've heard is enough. So I just watch other people read the blog. I watched other people read it. Crystal Yost, another member of the channel, welcome in, saying, hey, everyone, hello. Welcome back into the live stream. Nice to have you tonight. We got Boots on the Ground saying, maybe blog writing is their foreplay. And why are you blog writing as an attorney on a case that is active? Like, what's wrong? What is wrong with him? Absolutely insane. Anyways, let me go ahead and jump into the nonsense, or it's not nonsense. Let's jump into the tea that we are calling the verdict on the Clayton Echard and Laura Owens paternity lawsuit. If you don't know, a lot of people have already covered it. I think this verdict came out on like Monday or Tuesday. Clayton won. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Clayton Echard, he was a Bachelor contestant, but apparently he didn't end up with anybody. I mean, he was the Bachelor, so I'm sure he picked a girl. I didn't watch the season. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm sure he picked a girl, but somehow he was still single enough to hook up with this girl, Laura Owens, who apparently got pregnant in 2 seconds, right? From doing things in her mouth, not things in the baby oven, right? She didn't use the right reproductive system to be impregnated. But yet, when Clayton decided he wanted to break it off with her, she decided that she was now pregnant 2 seconds later and told him that she was pregnant and started this whole campaign and filed a whole action to establish a parenting plan, visitation. What else did she want to establish? Let me pull it back up. What else did she want to establish? She wanted to establish child support, decision-making for the baby, establish paternity and parenting time for these fetuses, because she was pregnant with twins, for these fetuses that are still in her belly. She decided to file this action. And I think that the judge does a good job when saying at minimum it was premature. But we'll get into it. She had the shade, y'all. We'll get into it. But for sure, this action would have been premature nonetheless. She was 2 seconds pregnant. I'm sorry, let me stop saying that. She was 2 months pregnant when she filed this action. And this is where I'm going to get into that. I think the judge may have had a little typo somewhere in here, because let's just jump into it. Let's have Bossy B bring us in. Okay, so I said bring us in, Bossy B. Okay, here we are. Let me make it a little bit bigger. We are in the Superior Court of Arizona. This is the court making her ruling after she sat in on the hearing on June 10th. So this came in really, really fast. I think like 7 days, like a week is when it was found. And let's see. She says that the action that Laura filed this action on May 20th, 2023. But I don't think that's accurate because that's kind of when they hooked up, was like May 21st and 22nd, I believe, or 20th and 20th and 21st is when they actually hooked up. So I'm thinking this is a typo. I remember the filing being in August, but y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that one has to be that one has to be a typo. We're not really going to go through the whole procedure of this. Basically, Clayton responded. Laura asked for, mediation so that he can communicate with her. She asked for several motions for him to communicate with her. I think it pretty much showed that she was filing this action to get this man to talk to her. So either way it goes, they hook up. And when we're saying hook up, we're only talking about mouth stuff, not talking about real sexy time stuff. I don't know why I'm doing these hand motions. Ignore that, please. So bad. That was so bad. They didn't do the real sexy time, right? They only did mouth stuff to her. And she's claiming that she's pregnant. She claimed that he raped her. She claimed that he was too high to remember what happened. So, I mean, that might sound like SA from her to him, but hey, who am I to try to diagnose these things? And she also claimed that he briefly put it in the real sexy part, right? Not in her mouth. But Clayton did admit that he put it in her mouth twice. And yeah, there's a lot. It's all so bad. But let's go ahead and jump into, and y'all let me know if y'all are having a signal issue, because my Wi-Fi is giving me some feedback here that it's not very great right now. So I'm sorry if y'all are getting a little choppy going on. Let me turn my Wi-Fi off right here. Try to save some Wi-Fi power. Okay, so let's get into what the judge had to say about, or the facts that the judge took into account from Laura's testimony. So the court considered that petitioner, which is Laura, contacted Clayton through LinkedIn. Laura and Clayton met on May 17th of 2023 to locate potential investment properties in Scottsdale. Laura has a podcast, a real estate investing company, and buys and sells horses. Interesting point. And I would tell y'all, I missed a lot of the conversation about horses and that they could produce the HCG, or their tranquilizers can produce HCG. I did not hear that at all in the trial. So maybe I was just distracted. I guess it says it came from an exhibit. So never mind. Maybe I wasn't distracted. But anyways, between May 18th and the 20th, the parties viewed some properties in Scottsdale. On the evening of May 20, 2023, Clayton invited Laura over to his house, and she accepted. After Laura arrived, Clayton told her he was high on cannabis gummies and he offered her one, which she accepted. So they both have now done the edibles at this point on May 20th. During the late evening on May 20, 2023, and early morning of May 21, both parties agreed that petitioner performed oral sex on Clayton to completion. I love how she put in the parentheses to completion. Right? We got to know that he produced some little swiggly sperms, right? Anyways, what am I talking about? Laura testified she did not want to have sexual intercourse, but that Clayton stuck it in briefly, right? Just stuck it in there briefly, and that resulted in a twin pregnancy. But, I digress. We have more to go on. Laura's implication that Clayton initiated sexual intercourse without consent was not alleged initially in court filings. It was not alleged until 2024. So this is where the court starts to get a little bit shady. She's starting to point out things that Laura brought up kind of late in the game. If she thought that she was raped or SA'd in the beginning, she should have said that in her initial filing or close to her initial filing, not in 2024 when, the hammer is coming down on her and people are starting accusing her of not telling the truth. So the court points out, this is the first inconsistency that we have, or not the first, because she's already pointed out a couple of inconsistencies, but this is a major inconsistency that the court is recognizing. At trial, Laura testified that the parties had sexual intercourse and that it was great So again, bringing up something new that was not brought up before. Laura testified that Clayton was too high to remember sexual intercourse due to his voluntary intoxication. Laura believes she became pregnant on May 20, 2023. She testified that after May 20, 2023, her menstrual period stopped and did not resume until November 2023. Now, this one, I don't know if this was like a little bit of a misstatement of the facts, but I could have swore that she said she just never had a period, but maybe she said that she doesn't have consistent periods. But either way it goes, how does your period stop on the day that you get pregnant? Wouldn't it have stopped before that? Like she would have had a period maybe a couple weeks before. I'm not a biology major, but it would have stopped a couple weeks before, not on the day. And that could just be the way that the judge wrote it and not necessarily meant to be taken strictly of what she wrote. But either way it goes, she says she stopped getting her period after the May 20th date. But she also testified that either she didn't have periods, or I could have sworn she said, I don't get periods. But maybe I'm misremembering. But either way it goes, it's either that she doesn't get period or that her periods are inconsistent. So again, how do we know this is not just a period of inconsistency? When she's saying that it's inconsistent, does it come like every 2 months, or does it come like a month, every 2 months, 4 months sometimes, 5 months sometimes? Like, we didn't get enough information on that, but let me go ahead and jump back in there. Petitioner has had PCOS since the age of 17 and does not have regular periods. Okay, maybe that was me misremembering. Petitioner has a history of epilepsy. Petitioner testified that she has been pregnant 4 times. And this was interesting that the court put this in. For me, this was interesting that the court put this in. Laura testified that she has been pregnant 4 times. Each time the alleged father believes she fabricated the pregnancy and doctored medical records. Now, this is interesting for this reason. When she was asked this question, every time you were pregnant, I forget what the lady, what is her name? Oh, her name just slipped my mind, but the lady attorney asked her, every time you got pregnant, all of those fathers thought you were lying, right? Something along those lines is what was asked. Laura said, no, that's not true. And she tried to keep spinning the question to where it would, it would reflect of what she was saying. So she ended up saying with Gillespie, no, he did think I was pregnant because he sent me here to go get the pregnancy test or whatever it was. And, he found out I was pregnant after he sent me here to get the pregnancy test. But again, him sending you somewhere to get a pregnancy test is probably because he doesn't believe that you're pregnant. But either way, although Laura tried to spin that situation and try to make it sound favorable to her, like, no, all of these guys believe me every single time, the court still found that each time she alleged that she was pregnant, the fathers did not believe her. I thought that was really interesting, despite her saying, no, that's not the case. On May 24th, petitioner Laura asked Clayton to prepare written purchase offers for 2 properties Laura wanted to purchase in Scottsdale. One was located on this street and another was on another street. Laura Clayton asked her realtor to prepare these purchase offers and to submit them to the seller or the seller's agent. Clayton prepared the purchase offers, which Laura signed on or around May 24, 2023, but Clayton never submitted them to the seller or the seller's agent. Laura later asked Clayton if he had heard anything from the seller in response to Laura's offers. Clayton advised he had not heard back from the sellers. Laura testified that she advised the real estate board and action was taken because basically Clayton never turned in the offers. On May 31st, 2023, petitioner took a home pregnancy test. Laura took a home pregnancy test, which showed a faint positive line. Again, faint positive line, you're going to want to follow up on some more pregnancy tests there. Laura testified that after multiple positive pregnancy tests, she told the respondent she was pregnant. So she took multiple positive, probably faint line pregnancy tests and told Clayton that she was pregnant. Laura found Clayton's reaction to be hostile and dismissive. I mean, wouldn't you be hostile against Laura? Like, how many people in the chat would be happy that you got Laura pregnant after you only did oral stuff? I think everyone would pretty much be dismissive of her. And the court, like when the court gets to Laura's expert, like that's embarrassing. He should never testify as an expert again in life. Like it's time for him to hang up the coat. It's time for him to hang up the coat. We're going to get into it. Okay, so let's see. She thought he was hostile and dismissive. On June 1st, 2023, Laura went to Banner Urgent Care at Greenway and 64th Street. She informed the nurse that she believed she may be pregnant, and she asked for a test to determine whether she was in fact pregnant. The test from Banner Urgent Care was positive for pregnancy. Laura testified that for more than 6 months prior to May 23rd, she was not sexually active with other men. Based on this, Laura testified that she believed she was pregnant, and respondent, meaning Clayton, was the only potential father. Do we believe her? Do we believe? I would say no. June 19, 2023, Laura went to respondent's home at his request. Clayton provided a pregnancy test for petitioner to take. Conflicting testimony makes it difficult to ascertain whether the test was taken in front of respondent, in front of Clayton, or with the bathroom door closed due to a shy bladder. I thought that was interesting language she used. Both parties agree that the test was positive. So I don't know if you guys got that from the testimony. I guess only Laura testified whether it was done directly in front of him or whether the door was closed. Laura said that the door, he was standing right there and he could see her. I can't remember if Clayton testified to whether the door was closed or something, but I know that was a dispute in a lot of the written documents. So maybe the court is kind of referring back to that. And the something to consider email, the court finds, which this goes in favor of Clayton. In the something to consider email, the court finds the language to imply Clayton was attempting to buy into the idea that rubbing or grinding their genitals, grow up, Bri, grinding their genitals together might have led to pregnancy. The court, however, does not find the email conclusive that Clayton believed her to be pregnant with his children, but rather an attempt to consider her ascertains. So she tried to say, oh, in this email, he admitted to rubbing against me and that could have gotten me pregnant. The court says, the email didn't quite say that. The email just was like, I could see what you're saying, but probably not, right? It wasn't dispositive, right? In the something to consider email, Clayton maintains the lack of sexual intercourse would preclude him from being the father of the fetus. The email does not deny the pregnancy test was positive. So again, Laura, you tried to spin something. That's not what it said. In the email, respondent suggested that the positive test was a result of Laura's epilepsy medication. Laura emailed Dr. Glennis Zeman, MD, from Barrow Concussion and Brain Injury Center on June 28, 2023. The subject of the email is pregnancy and seizure med. Laura denies sending Clayton an ultrasound video, citing instead that Greg Gillespie hacked into her email and sent the video to respondent, which is a completely ridiculous claim. Really ridiculous claim, right? And then Laura testified that on July 2nd, 2023, she anonymously sought care at Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles. While she failed to provide records of any Planned Parenthood appointment, anonymous or under an alias, Clayton presumably sought records from all Mission Viejo Planned Parenthoods, as that is where, up until today, again, court calling her out, you claimed that you were in Mission Viejo. She actually testified that she went in Mission Viejo. But then when the attorney started getting on her, she was like, oh yeah, but you didn't check LA. She's like, why the hell would I check LA, right? This is the first time that you're bringing up LA. Why would I check LA? And she's like, oh, that's where I went. And it's like, we just went through a line of questioning when you just said that you were in Mission, but yeah, you're with your own attorney. You went through a line of questioning saying that you were in Mission Viejo. You didn't even bring it up with your attorney. You brought it up on cross. The court was like, oh, no. So this is a long paragraph for her to say this is the first time she brought up the, this LA thing. First time she's bringing up, no, she said that she went anonymous in her deposition actually, which is ridiculous. So twice she said that she went anonymously. I think maybe the respondents missed that. Let me see where I was at. Laura testified that she had the sonogram at Planned Parenthood in California, either anonymously or under a pseudonym, and changed the location to prevent respondent from tracking down the records. The court was not provided with those records at trial. The court made that very clear, like, you are being deceitful. Laura testified that on July 23rd, 2023, she experienced bleeding and passed 2 small fleshy objects smaller than the size of her hand. She took pictures of the tissue and sought telehealth assistance. Laura testified that she texted a miscarriage hotline and sought telehealth assistance. The telehealth provider told Laura it was hard to tell if she had miscarried and she should monitor the situation and seek further care as needed. Laura chose not to seek in-person care that would have confirmed if she had been, still was, or had miscarried. The court finds the hard to tell component of the telehealth visit was due to the nature of telehealth and the inability to provide care in the form of an exam, HCG test, blood test, ultrasound, or sonogram. Again, the court pointing out that if you thought you were pregnant and you thought that you miscarried, why did you not go to the doctors? That would be a good thing to do, right? Instead of seeking in-person care, Laura chose to take another HCG home pregnancy test on July 25th, 2023, which was positive. And I don't know how much you guys know in the chat about miscarrying, but you have to go to the doctor so that they can clean you up and not sterilize you, but clean you up to make sure you don't get an infection. You just miscarried and just went about your day and was like, it'll solve on its own. Especially if you're claiming that you have all these high risk factors and everything. It's a really stupid move on her if she was in fact pregnant, but we'll see that the court finds that she probably was never pregnant, right? So let's see, she took another one on August 1st, another home pregnancy test. Laura testified that she made multiple appointments to see Dr. McCool. 3 of the 4 appointments were rescheduled and then canceled when Laura tested positive for COVID. Mr. McCool's record indicate 44 pages of records confirming making and canceling appointments. That's a lot of records to say that she made an appointment and canceled an appointment and made an appointment and canceled an appointment. 44 pages of that. The court was not provided with evidence of the positive COVID test, but maintains the nature of her high-risk pregnancy would warrant a visit of the emergency room, who would be equipped to care for a high-risk pregnancy wherein the mother was COVID positive. So she should have still went to the doctor, essentially, is what the court is saying. In August of 2023, the parties agreed to a DNA through Ravgen. Petitioner paid $725 to Ravgen for the test, but Clayton failed to provide a sample and petitioner canceled the test on August 18, 2023. Now, I did not know that was the case. So let me know if this is a misstatement of facts by the judge, but I did not know that was the case because Laura kept saying, oh, well, you didn't give your DNA. Okay, if he missed his appointment, fine. Why would you then go and cancel the whole test instead of letting him reschedule to go give his DNA? That to me is a bit sketchy. I don't know if y'all feel the same way about it. Let's see here. The court finds that Laura was pregnant. The court finds that if Laura was pregnant, it is profoundly unlikely that conception occurred because of rubbing, grinding, and oral sex. Now, the court does not believe that she somehow got impregnated from, doing a little mouth action on this man and rubbing and grinding. The judge was not born yesterday, Laura. She was not born yesterday, okay? During this litigation, if Laura had maintained consistently an allegation of SA coupled with a police report or physical exam, the court may find differently. Had you stuck to one story, girl, maybe the court would have believed you. But the fact that you changed your story right on the stand is wild. The court was already not believing you and continuously changing your story. But they said, hey, if you would have just asserted something and stuck to it, maybe we would have believed you. Maybe, just maybe we would have believed you. Okay. So let's see. Evidence and testimony, however, do not support this inconsistent contention. Laura admitted to changing the HCG test to reflect 31,000. She further testified she altered the document using Adobe, but not Adobe Acrobat. I don't know if that's a big deal, the big difference. In late September or early October, both parties submitted samples to Ravgen for DNA testing. On October 16, 2023, Laura's blood was drawn and the results were HCG levels of 102. Petitioner changed the results to reflect 102,000. I thought that we already discussed that was improperly said by her attorney, but it was actually like 130 something thousand. But I could be wrong. Laura testified that on October 18, 2023, she was aware of the alleged pregnancies were not viable and filed the request for pre-decree mediation in the hopes that at mediation, she could tell the respondent that the pregnancy was no longer viable. Upon denial of her request, however, she did not file a motion to dismiss or make other arrangements to advise the respondent of the new development. So she testified that, I found out that my pregnancy was no longer viable or that I miscarried or whatever it may have been. So I asked the court to do mediation. How is mediation going to help you? Please let me know. You need a third party there to tell him this? Have your lawyers there. There's no, I don't know why you need a mediation. And the court is right. And then after your mediation request was denied, you made no other effort to tell him. In fact, after October, you then came to a hearing and said, I am 100% pregnant, 24 weeks, actually. So that story doesn't even make sense. It does not make sense. Because you denied my mediation, I came and lied under oath. That makes absolutely no sense. So anyways, let's go on. The court finds this testimony uncredible and a misuse of judicial resources. We do not conduct mediation so you can tell him that you don't have viable pregnancy anymore. Pick up the phone. Well, I guess there was a restraining order, but freaking pick up the phone, call your lawyer, and have your lawyer call them. Come on now. Okay. Laura was not treated by Dr. McCool or Dr. Hitley as testified in the November 2nd, 2023 hearing on the, I think that was the harassment order. Petitioner Laura alleged pregnancy was not treated by Dr. McCool, Dr. Higley, or any other in-person obstetrician or gynecologist. The court finds failure to seek in-person care for a high-risk pregnancy to be both unreasonable and uncredible. Okay? So they found that she was not credible in saying that I had a high-risk pregnancy, but I just didn't go to the doctor because I'm cool like that. What was your reason? Okay. The court further finds that going to Banner for a pregnancy test, but not the passage of fetal tissue, to be unreasonable and uncredible. So here we go. She is calling her out. She spelled credible different times. This one has a T in it, and this one has a D in it, and that one has a DI. That's interesting. They spelled it differently here and here. That distracted me a little bit. Anyways, a reasonable person, if seeking emergency room care to confirm a pregnancy, would not rely on telehealth to confirm the non-viability of the pregnancy. So what is the court talking about there? You went to the emergency room to do an HCG test at the beginning, but you didn't go to the emergency room when you passed flesh. 2 sex, because you were, you had twins, right? You didn't go to the emergency room at that. You just said, my body's going to clear it up. But you were like, home pregnancy tests, those aren't reliable. Let me go ahead and go to the doctor and get a pregnancy test. The court finds that unreliable. And I agree with them. I really agree with them. Let's see. Laura testified that on November 14, 2023, she saw OB/GYN services from a facility, Mom Doc, again, not going in person, to determine whether she was allegedly still pregnant. At that appointment, petitioner took 2 pregnancy tests that were both negative. Petitioner testified that she currently weighs 91 pounds, but weighed 133 in November of 2023 during her Mom Doc appointment. She experienced significant swelling in her abdomen and felt pregnant. The court was presented with videos dated September 19, 2023 and October 9, 2023. Petitioner sent respondent of her abdomen as evidence of pregnancy. Dr. Medchill testified that while she appeared pregnant, that alone was not conclusive of pregnancy. Petitioner denies tampering with HCG tests, but does admit to altering and fabricating ultrasound. So you want me to believe that you doctored a whole sonogram, but I can't. But I shouldn't believe that. Or what was I gonna say? I've lost my train of thought, y'all. You want me to believe that you didn't fake the HCG test, but you doctored whole ultrasounds and sonograms. Ridiculous, right? She further testified that she changed the HCG number on 2 of the results, so that stuck. The court finds little, if any, difference in altering the test itself for just for altering the test itself, for which she denies, and altering the results, which she did tamper with by her own admission. During petitioner's cross-examination, it became, oh, this one is good, y'all. This one is good. During petitioner's cross-examination, it became profoundly obvious that counsel for petitioner was attempting to coach her answers. Did Mr. Gringus address this in his blog? Please tell me if he addressed it in his blog. If you know, tell me if he addressed it. Because the court calls him out for coaching his client. That is embarrassing, okay? Respondent's counsel identified the issue, moved between counsel and the petitioner. And then here we go into the JFC. If they're going to be making faces, okay? If they're going to be making faces, I can't do it. I cannot do this, okay? It's not fair. This is not fair. Well, do I have a little voice? What we got? I think Hello. Oh, I can't hear my little soundboard. Darn it, Bri. How do I do it? I think I gotta go like this.
Can I hear it?
Nope. Are you guys hearing my little voice soundboard thingy? Is it because I have this one on?
Now can I hear it?
Nope. I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Now I can hear it.
Okay. What is the voice?
I think she's no. I don't like it. I'm trying to find a voice that will remind me of. Is this one?
No, this one. This one is Laura. She's like, this is not fair. I can't do this. She's like, I cannot do this as JFC is going to be making faces. This is not fair. Not fair at all. Can I take a break?
Oh my gosh. Let me get my life together. Get it together, Bri. Get it together. I should have never gotten a soundboard, okay? Okay, let me jump back into it. I forgot where I was even at. I completely forgot where I was. Okay. I'm trying to find it, y'all. Okay, she was doing all that. Let's go. The court had to remind petitioner twice that counsel would ask questions and she needed to answer. From that point forward, the petitioner began to exhibit extreme anxiety and unwillingness to answer questions. The court had to remind the petitioner twice that counsel would ask a question and she needed to answer it. At this time, petitioners pushed back her chair and advised the court
I can't do this. I cannot believe I am being treated fairly.
The court attempted to redirect petitioners to no avail. At this time, petitioner became emotional and
I need a break first. I need a break. I need a break. I can't do this. Okay? They're making faces. I'm a grown woman and they're making faces, making me emotional.
Okay, she asked for a brief recess, which the court granted. The court finds this interaction between counsel and petitioner diminishes the credibility of arrest. So you not only cried on the stand, and the court just goes, your interaction, it just diminished your credibility and veracity of petitioner's responses during cross-examination. Your crying did not help the court realize that you were being coached by your own attorney on the stand, okay? The court finds it impossible to determine the date of the alleged miscarriage, not because it is impossible, but rather because she failed to seek even a minimal level of care for her high-risk condition, failure to demonstrate confirmation of ongoing pregnancy in a purposeful way to ensure that Clayton would not be able to determine if she was pregnant, and if so, how long the pregnancy lasted, because she just didn't go get things. She didn't go to get things checked out. So the court finds her to be uncredible, okay? Unreasonable and uncredible. Like, you do not want the court to find that you are not credible. But not only did she find that you're not credible, she also found that you're not a reasonable person. Like, there's something going on up there. Low key is what the judge is finding here. So everything you write on your blog, probably not going to help. You know what? If you're going to appeal something, maybe you shouldn't be writing stuff on blogs. Both attorney and Laura, y'all are messing up your appeal, okay? You're messing up your appeal. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the chat because I have 68 chats waiting for me. So let me go ahead and do that part of it. That is what the court thought of Laura. She was just found to be a liar. That's what I get from it. She took some of her statements as, true on the face, right? And the court still didn't believe her. She still did not believe her. She thought it was a problem that she's changing her story constantly. She even changed her story right there on the stand. And not only did she change her story right there on the stand, she changed it on cross, not even on direct. Like, you didn't talk to your attorney about this? Let me just throw a boom, surprise, trial by surprise is what she's trying to do here. So anyways, the court is like, she's a liar, liar, pants on fire. That's the end of that. Let's go ahead and jump in the chat and see what's going on. Oh, we are at 52 likes with 73 people watching live. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. We do have a like goal of 100 likes for this live stream. So again, it will help out if you hit the like button if you haven't already. If you already hit the like button, don't hit it again because then you're going to unlike it. And that's not nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into the chat and see what the people have to say. We got Nicholas Hall saying internet lawyer stayed on the cruise ship. He claimed wouldn't have internet to blog. He missed wrong. Man, he did get on there and say, I'm not going to have a connection. I'm not going to have connection. Sir, you've been blogging. You've been tweeting. I don't know if he's been tweeting, but you've been on the internet, sir. You got enough Wi-Fi. You paying for Wi-Fi every day at this point. Boots on the ground says to Nicholas Hall, it was Florence he missed. Ridiculous. Amanda Fickus says he's grimy in his actions. The court called him out for it. Avid Reader Red says Laura Owens is being a professional mater victim and DG is her PR spin doctor. It's just a mess, right? Nicholas Hall says, who gets the kids for what holidays? He's got them for New Year's Eve. No kissing other girls for him. Yeah, while still in her belly, right? Kristen the First says, kind of disturbing how far someone is willing to fake a pregnancy. This lady has allegedly faked four of them. So I'm not surprised at this point. Deacon Fatal says to me, is hookup a legal term now? No, it's not. Deacon Fatal says just the Deacon Fatal, please don't start. Please do not start tonight. I know this was a while ago, but please don't start tonight. Oh my gosh. Just stuck it in. Just briefly stuck it in there. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I'm like, what's going on with my goddamn camera? Okay, there we go. Where was I at? Deacon Fatal says, why is it always realtors and podcasters? I don't know. They get a mic and they go crazy. Pickle Juice Justice, love it, saying her Airbnb is seller carry finance and has a balloon due to about 4 years. Did I read that right? Her Airbnb is seller carry finance and has a balloon due in about 4 years. I don't know if I interpret that correctly. Boots on the Ground says hookup was May 20th to 21st, following August 1st. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There was a typo there. Pickle Juice Justice says podcast has no financial value. It makes sense. Pickle Juice Justice says her horses are the only thing she could sell for money. She says she makes like $200,000 a year, which I think she said like $500,000 a year, but the court put 200. So there's that. Nicholas Hall says 40 likes met. Yes, thank you for that update. Cat Lady Ballerina says her story changes every time she blinks. That's why when her period occurrences don't make sense. Yeah. Yeah. Deacon Fatal says if on birth control for health reasons or heavy periods, you can have irregular periods, which makes sense. But I can't remember if she said she had irregular or she just didn't have periods. Hemi Locker says, I remember her saying she doesn't really get periods too. Okay. I'm like, am I the only one? Techfall 115. I think I'm reading that one. Techfall 15, I think. Says she said on the stand she doesn't get a period. Okay. I was like, I thought I remembered that. So thank y'all for confirming. Drea XO says PCOS irregular periods ? She did say she had PCOS. Avid Reader Red says she said she was diagnosed with PCOS at 17 and she didn't get a period, implying she couldn't rely on missing periods to warn her of pregnancy on the issue. And even if so, you only missed your period for 3 days, ma'am. Okay? She started taking pregnancy tests when? Like still in May. And on May 20th is when they hooked up. Okay, like maybe they were perfectly on her fertile window, wasn't they? Like, come on, girl. Drea XO says, Kimmy Locker, yeah, she said that it was due to her PCOS. Deacon Fado says it can, and where is the OBGYN in this case? Never saw one. It was not important, okay? Tiffany says she forget what lies she tells and forget it's all on record. That is true and recorded and people talking about it on the internet. Deacon Fatal says, okay, how does she doctor the medical records? She used Adobe Acrobat. What do you mean, how does she doctor them? She literally used Adobe. Kimmy says Deacon failed poorly on Adobe Acrobat. Tiffany says she uses Adobe Acrobat or Fiverr. All of the above. Avid Reader Red says the attorney on Cross is Deandra. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Boots on the Ground says Deandra Arena. That's a cool one. Boots on the Ground says if what she said was real, it's not medical doctors should study her. Her magic powers could solve infertility problems. Exactly. She is onto something here. Breaking medical research here. Tiffany says, I need her to read the Medium article. Okay, I'm going to have to get to it. Kimmy pulled them for us. Deacon Fatal says, where there is smoke, there is fire. Where there's a pregnancy from Laura Owens, no, there is not a baby, okay? Boots on the Ground says you shouldn't be hostile towards her. Yeah, absolutely should. Cheryl Reed says, of course he was hostile. He knew. She's 3 seconds pregnant and he's the baby father. Kristen the First says, so she wasn't sexually active for more than 6 months, had oral sex with this dude, and is suddenly pregnant with twins within days. Okay. And so another part of the story that the court actually didn't point out is that she went directly to or maybe she did in Clayton's part, I can't remember, but she went directly to the bathroom after the second finishing in her mouth. So I said, what did she do? Turkey baste? But that never really came up. She never really admitted to trying to turkey baste herself. I don't know, which would be gross. Gracia Bates says, given a realtor you met on LinkedIn, a blowy after a few dates is promiscuous behavior. If there were kids, they could have been anyone since no DNA proved it was his. The thing about it is like they were not going on dates. He showed her some houses. So yeah. And I mean, he's the Bachelor, so maybe she kind of targeted him. That would be my assumption. Deacon Fatal says a shy bladder. Yeah, so she couldn't pee in front of him because he was watching her. Avid Reader Red says Clayton testified the door was closed, but he wanted to be sure she didn't bring something with her. Okay, that's why she said it wasn't clear. Deacon Fatal says, okay, so I've known a lot of people that fake clean pee test for negative results. No, she's faking it for pregnancy. Cheryl Reed says, OMG, this sounds like JRHS. Jazzy G says, I know nothing about this case, but also wondering how this got to trial. Because he wanted a ruling that he was not the father. So he did not dismiss it. She wanted it dismissed, but she didn't want to admit that she faked the test. She did not want to admit it. So it had to go to trial, and now she's being referred to the DA for perjury. So I think that's a way worse consequence than her just admitting that she lied. Drea says, when you lie, you need a good memory, Judge Judy. Yeah. You need to remember what you lied about last time, right? Tiffany says, and she's been through what? Four lawyers? I think 3. I think she's on her 3rd. One tried to get her to sign an affidavit admitting to it, and she fired her and reported her to the bar. And then another one wrote a declaration saying that she, I think it was a guy, that she lied and she wanted the court to know that their client was lying. Cheryl Reed says, how did this case ever get to trial? Clayton didn't want to drop it. Laura didn't want to admit that she was lying. So It went to trial. Kimmy Lockett says to Cheryl Reed, pretty sure she filed it to scare him. Then she tried to dismiss it, and Clayton was like, nope. So they went to trial because he wanted a ruling that he's not the father or that she was never pregnant. So he couldn't have been the father. That's a finding of non-paternity as well. And one thing we have to realize in these cases is once the other side, so if you file a petition and you never serve it, then you can dismiss it without asking for permission. But once you file it, you serve it, and the other person responds, you have to get their permission to dismiss it. So Laura basically asked Clayton to dismiss it because she was no longer pregnant, and Clayton said, admit that you lied, and she said, nope, and he said, bet we're going to trial. So they tried to point that out too. We tried to get it dismissed, but he's using judicial resources to bring me here knowing that there's no pregnancy, so the court can't really rule on anything. Yes, the court can, and they did. Okay? So there's that. Island has been a member for 4 months. Yay! Let me get to my regular. Yay! Welcome in, Sam. To clear up confusion, this wasn't a trial. It was a final finding of the family court judge since she filed to establish a parenting plan. And so it can be referred to as a trial. It can be referred to as an evidentiary hearing. This court referred to it as a trial, so that's why we're calling it a trial. Kimmy Locker says the Island is listed in the docket as a trial/hearing, but it was a bench trial rather than a jury trial. Yes, exactly. Boots on the Ground says, why didn't I do all my OBGYN appointments telemed? Oh, yeah, because it's stupid. Yeah, pretty much. That's well said. We could have had this trial done in 3 seconds. Like, absolutely right. Absolutely right. It is stupid. Boots on the Ground says she sent her neurology records to them. That is likely most of the 44 pages. Okay, that makes sense. Tiffany says she needs to be sued by all of her victims and it go to real trial like 2 weeks and not 2 hours. I hope so. Well, the court is referring her to the DA on her perjury. So I'm pretty sure these people, although it's not them suing her, they will probably be able to testify for her against her perjury. So there's that. Boots on the Ground says he had blocked her, so he didn't know to give his sample because she said she'd only test if he dated her. You can, like, there is no way you can convince me that you want a boyfriend that bad. Like, that's there is no way. No, and maybe there is something. I guess she was on like psych meds or whatever, but there is no way. There's so many men out there, you know? And you want to tell me you want a boyfriend that bad that you you don't want to date me while I'm pregnant? Date me and I'll abort the baby. Like, what? Who thinks like that? Who thinks like that? Oh my gosh. We got Laura Knighty saying logic. That doesn't work for her. No, not at all. Again, shout out to Lauren for getting us the live stream of this trial because it was pure gold, pure gold. Ashley says he was the one to try and set it up. Another lie. And again, why would you cancel it because he missed his appointment? He could just reschedule it. Stargazer Kawaii says, if I get pulled over by a cop and believe it's a cop, but over the course of the stop, I realize that he isn't in the right police car uniform or badge, is he in the clear because I believed it at first? No. You are still impersonating the officer. I think I got that right. Cheryl says, now I think he should sue her for defamation, etc. Agreed. And that's why they were trying for this not to go to trial. Because basically was calling him a deadbeat. Defamation. He's not a deadbeat because there was no baby, lady. Island says that it's super weird to me to try to file for a parenting plan before the baby is born, but apparently anyone can do it. Yep, exactly. Anybody can do it. Like I said before on the stream, when I see it done most often, it's the dad trying to be involved in the pregnancy process, but you can't really be involved in the pregnancy process if the mom doesn't want you to, because it's like protected by HIPAA. It's a private thing. They're, going through your body, looking inside your body through a little ultrasound thing. So no, you can't be there if mom doesn't want you there. IB, I'm just going to say IB says, get her, Brie. Your reactions are 100% accurate. Yep. Missy Ann says, mediation equals forced communication with Clayton was the goal. Exactly. And I'm glad the court did not give it to her. Lauren says, I need to request mediation with my former one night stand because she ghosted your honor. Yes. Yes. Force this person to talk to me. Kimmy Lockett says to Lauren, you did such a great job with the stream. Thank you so much. Yes, I agree. Thank you. Thank you. Fair for All said gave a $4.99 super chat. Oh, thank you very much. I thought it had like a little dancing thing, but it was just a super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I always wonder if you guys like my nonsense and my my commentary, but I guess you do. Thank you again, Fair for All. Ivy says Clayton wanted a court finding that Laura lied. He knew she would and already will continue to defame him and continue to impact his life. Yes, of course. I see why he kept it open. I really do see why he kept it open. Ivy says it's not about money for him. Nope, although he gets awarded some money. Cheryl Reed says, the more you read Brie, the harder I laugh. This woman was so delusional, but had the nerve to go to court with lies, shaking my head, and change her story on the stand multiple times. And not only did she change her story on the stand, she changed it multiple times throughout the case. Did she not think the judge was going to catch on to that? Ivy says, no, he didn't, but he is trying to accuse the judge of misconduct. And we're talking about Gringus, the attorney for Laura. Kristen first says, laughing my A off, not the soundboard. Yeah, I was struggling with that soundboard when we got it together. Avid Reader says, yes, he made the excuse he was quieting the witness, but in the video he makes many movements after and without voicing an objection. Yeah, he was like telling her to be quiet at some point, but then he was giving her signals like, no. Why'd you say that, girl? Like, just get up and start talking to her at that point. The court noticed it. You're going to try to play it off? Cheryl Reed says, I love the soundboard. LOL. Kristen Miffer says, I'll never forget when Brie read the article on a case without realizing the voice changer was still on. That was bad. That's why I'm like, I have to hear it because that time I couldn't hear it. I can't embarrass myself like that again. Lauren says, hit the like button or the bumblebee will sting you. Love that. The way to encourage them. Because I hate bees. Like, I'm so scared of bees in real life. Like, I'm surprised this is my theme on the channel. Bruce from Oregon says, HCGB will make y'all your test positive. Ashley says, Chris, it can get worse and women, sorry, I can't read right now. Chris, it can get worse and women cut babies out of pregnant women and try to claim the baby as their own. Laura is on this track. That's why it's important to stop this behavior. Agreed. She can be a Lifetime movie. You are right about that. That is such a Lifetime movie. And real life. That does happen in real life too. Just Me MD says, what appeal, girl? Take your loss and sit down somewhere and make her pay for court costs, attorney's fees, and damages. And the court does order that, and she still wants to appeal. Isn't it crazy? IB, thanks for continuing to cover this case. Thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to you for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Y'all, I'm always awkward about getting super chats. I don't know what to say. I thank you, but I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I appreciate it so much, but I'm like, I don't know how to accept it all the way, but it's already here. So thank you. I appreciate it. Gracia Bates says, this lady missed sex ed in school. What do you mean? What do you mean? They were grinding. That is automatic, like, pregnancy. What do you mean? Lauren, I'm just kidding. Lauren says, guys, there's a mountain of evidence she was pregnant. A mountain of... Y'all know. What's the mountain? Yes. Yeah. I don't know. She's just... I don't know how she got there. I don't. Wink says she claimed 4 days she felt and thought she might be pregnant. 4 days after a blowjob is wild. That's a wild conclusions. Like, ma'am, you definitely were not in sex ed. Like, and they made us take it so much. Like, I took it 4 or 5. That sounds bad. They had us take that class 4 or 5 times. 6 times, I would say, throughout elementary to high school. I'm pretty sure we took it twice every step of the way. Elementary school, middle school, and high school. So 5 to 6 times we had to take that class. They clearly did not have that curriculum when she was in school, because I don't know how she could have thought she was pregnant after that. And to start feeling, oh my gosh, morning sickness. If you're getting morning sickness after a blowjob, it might not be pregnancy. It might be something else, you know? Sorry about that. Juliana Greenfield says 4 attorneys, Bonnie, Lexi, Corey, and David. Oh, okay. So she had 4 attorneys. Cindy says, wasn't Bonnie for the ops? Not the paternity. Wink says Lopez was for the OOP. I was like the ops. Why would I say that? Okay, Abbott Rita Red says Clayton didn't drop it because he looked at her past behavior with the other people and knew she would continue with her harassing, defamatory behavior. Agreed. Cheryl Reed says she didn't want a boyfriend. She wanted the Bachelor, but she did it to other like non-Bachelor men. Like, I think she wanted a boyfriend. Like, Boots on the Ground says we appeal her appeal. Exactly. Just me MD. I missed it. Just me MD says she's not broke. She can afford an attorney and allegedly makes money from her horses. She has multiple streams of income, literally. Yes. Island says, how do you know she's the one paying her attorney? We don't directly, but she did say that her and her mom makes a lot of money in their business. Tanya D, also known as Destin to be our member and moderator of the channel, says, hey everyone, I see 80 likes and 96 people in the chat. Yes, of course. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. Thanks you for the reminder, Tanya. We have a like goal of 100 likes for the live stream. So if you hit the like button, it can help us out a lot. Boots on the Ground says, do you know she's actually paid her attorney? We don't know. He might be in it for he's on a cruise. No, I'm just kidding. Gimme Lockett says, pretty sure she had 3 attorneys in this case because that's what Clayton pre-trial statement said in /shaded. Yep. And then Island says, order of protection. Okay. Because I was like, I'm thinking it's a restraining order thing, but we call it like a TRO here. Ivy says, I get pregnant just brushing my teeth every day. What are people doing to your toothbrush? Man. Kenny Lockett says brushing your teeth like Laura. Melissa M says Dave Nails channel call the tonsil twins is there's such a charge for fetal neglect for not getting checked by a doctor if she truly was pregnant. I don't think so, because some people just don't even know that they're pregnant. So I don't know off the top of my head. Island says the podcast makes $200K and they each get paid out of it. Could easily be under $100K each. Okay. She does a podcast with her mom? That's interesting. That's interesting. That's all I can say about that. Okay, y'all. Let me go ahead and jump back into, we're going to cover the 2 doctors, what the judge thought about the 2 doctors. Gonna take a pause and check out chat, and then we'll jump into what she thought about Clayton. Honestly, I think they all might be pretty short. I might be able to do all of them. Yeah, I'll do all of them, and then we'll jump back into the chat, actually. So Dr. Med chill, and he needs to chill with his meds because the judge was not a favor of him. Let's get Bossy B in here. Have I been the only like corny person to make that joke? To chill with the meds. Michael T. Medchill, MD. This is what the judge thought of him. Michael T. Medchill is a retired OBGYN and prior chair at St. Joseph Hospital, testified that pregnancy is possible without sexual intercourse. Why did you open it up like that? The judge thought that was pure BS. He testified that pregnancy is possible without sexual intercourse. That's it. That's all we need to know about him. Dr. Medchill testified that he delivered 30,000 babies during his practice and saw many patients for miscarriages. Dr. Medchill testified that he reviewed approximately 200 pages of Laura's medical records from Burrow Neurological Institute in Phoenix that included summaries of Laura's medication. He did not, however, review primary care or historical OBGYN records. Why the heck do we have an expert testifying that didn't review any records that had to do with her pregnancy. We're here for pregnancy. We don't care about what's going on in, well, we kind of do care about what's going on in her brain because it's insane in there. But why are we reviewing neurological records for a paternity lawsuit? Come on now. Dr. Mitchell testified that none of the medication records he reviewed would cause a false positive home pregnancy test. Dr. Mitchell testified that a false positive HCG test could be a result of epilepsy medication, anxiety medication, clozapine, horse urine, or IVF prescribed injectable trigger shots. So you claimed that none of the records showed this, but wasn't she on epilepsy medicine? And wasn't she on some type of psych medication? Okay. When asked by the court, Dr. Mitchell testified that he did not review any Planned Parenthood records from Mission Viejo or Los Angeles facilities. Dr. Mitchell testified that a home pregnancy can detect pregnancy 11 days after conception. Yeah, she would have been right on that line, 11 days after conception. Dr. Mitchell testified that he is 99.9% sure that petitioner was pregnant based on the HCG test. He did not change his perspective after petitioner's admission on the stand that she altered more than one test to reflect a higher viable HCG number. And again, with his testimony, she asked, okay, well, did you know he doctored, she doctored the test? And he was like, yeah, but I didn't rely on those tests. But you're saying that she was pregnant because she had positive HCG tests. Are you only talking about the home pregnancy test? That's the thing that you're relying on, is her telling you that she had positive pregnancy home test? You don't even see a copy of it, but the court is telling you she doctored 2 other HCG tests, and you're saying, oh, I didn't rely on those ones. Not smart. He should not testify as an expert ever again. He should just call it quits, retire, go on a cruise with Dingus or Gringus, whatever his name is. That's what he needs to do. Okay, let's see here. The court finds Dr. Mitchell's testimony that 0.1% chance that petitioner Laura received a false positive due to several medications she is in fact taking, possible trigger shot for HCG, and prior history of ovarian cancer to diminish his credibility, especially given the records that the petitioner testified existed were not presented to her own expert for review and consideration. So her own HCG tests weren't even presented to him. Dr. Mitchell testified that the blood HCG level of 102 is proof of a non-viable pregnancy. While Dr. Mitchell testified that a non-viable pregnancy is still a pregnancy, the court finds that altering the number to reflect 102,000, which would be a viable pregnancy, to indicate that she intended for Clayton to believe that she was still pregnant with a viable fetus. Dr. Mitchell concluded that the petitioner became pregnant on May 20, 2023. Okay, and ended with a spontaneous abortion late October, early November, or possibly sooner in 2023. No, like you can't know. She said she passed the flesh in July of 2023, but you're telling me the spontaneous abortion happened in October and November, but she still came and testified that she was 100% pregnant in November. But they keep saying she got pregnant on May 20th. Do you get pregnant that fast? I don't think you get pregnant that fast. Even if he would have done the adult things to get her pregnant, I don't think you get pregnant like immediately. Like they were spending the night together, doing some adult activities. And you want to tell me she just got pregnant in 3 seconds? Like, how long does it take? I want to look that up. How long does it take to actually get pregnant? I'm sure it doesn't happen instantly. But anyways, let's go on. Given the alterations of the only records to indicate pregnancy, the court does not accept this conclusion. I don't believe you, med chill. You got to chill with your meds. Dr. Mitchell testified that woman may expel tissue during a spontaneous abortion, or the pregnancy might maintain in her body, ultimately being reabsorbed. The court did not like this. Given that Laura testified under oath at a prior hearing that she was absolutely 24 weeks pregnant and had seen her doctor presumably in person, the court does not accept the 24-week-old twin fetuses would be reabsorbed into a mother's body. The court further finds a miscarriage at the stage of pregnancy would result in emergency medical care and corresponding death certificates of the twins. If what Dr. Medchill testified to is true and she miscarried much sooner, negating the need of the death certificates, then petitioner perjured herself at the hearing. So the court is basically like, what's what I just do? Okay, the court is basically like, for one, 24-week-old twins would not be reabsorbed. Okay, there's that. We also forget that she also testified that she expelled tissue in July. So even then, it wouldn't be getting reabsorbed because she already expelled the tissue, allegedly, right? She said, even if it was true that these twins were absorbed, or what was it? Even if she would have miscarried sooner, she still lied under oath saying that she was pregnant in November. So no matter which way you try to spin it, Medchill, either she's a liar or you're a liar. So which one do we want to go with? Which one is the doctor a liar, or is Laura a liar, or are they both a liar? Probably going to say they're both a liar. In my opinion, that's where I'm leaning towards. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Samantha Deans, which is Clayton's expert, Dr. Samantha Deans, MD, MPH, reviewed petitioner's records and provided her analysis on the HCG results. Additionally, she was the prior associate medical director of Planned Parenthood in Florida and Pennsylvania. So she worked for the facility that that Laura was claiming that she was seen at. She testified that Planned Parenthood does not accept patients, which Laura claimed she went under an anonymous name. They do not accept patients using an alias, which Laura also said she went under a fake name. Patients are required to provide a government-issued form of ID. She further testified that Planned Parenthood is not open on Sundays, when petitioner testified that she sought care on July 2nd, 2023, which would have been a Sunday. And I mean, she could say that she used the fake government ID, right? I mean, she could go that far. I'm surprised she didn't go that far. Dr. Deans testified that HCG does not confirm pregnancy. There must be a serial HCG or an ultrasound and examination, which were never done or never disclosed to the court. The respondent, Dr. Deans. And remember, Dr. Medchill was testifying saying that, oh, well, they're only talking about a clinical pregnancy, because clinical pregnancies, you actually go in and you do prenatal stuff, blah, blah, blah. That's what he basically was trying to say. Dr. Dean is wrong, because you can still be pregnant without doing prenatal care. That's not what the court is paying attention to. You're claiming that you have a high-risk pregnancy and you're never going to go and get it checked out? Like, no. Why would the court believe that? And you have a whole paternity action. Just go to the freaking hospital and prove that you're pregnant if you're pregnant, right? She made it way more difficult than it needed to be if she was really pregnant. Dr. Deans reviewed the July 23rd, 2023 telehealth instructions that petitioner proceed to the emergency room for additional evaluation and care. The instructions were not followed by Laura. They were not followed, but Laura called the abortion and miscarriage hotline, which also recommended and encouraged the petitioner, Laura, to seek in-person medical care. Dr. Deans testified that there is no data to indicate a conception date. After reviewing the record, Dr. Deans determined that the HCG tests were never dispositive of pregnancy, and that the related miscarriage timeline, which included detailed analysis of the likely origin of HCG in petitioner's blood and urine, was not indicative of human gestational norms. So if she was actually pregnant, the numbers would have been higher, which is why she doctored the test. Dr. Deans testified that the heterophilic autoimmune response due to exposure to animals could produce a positive HCG test, but the confirmation blood test would be negative. So what she's basically saying is that since Laura is around horses a lot, that could potentially in itself produce a positive HCG test, which is interesting. Did not know that was a thing until this case. So I don't know why I would know it was a thing, but I did not know that was a thing until this case. But basically, since Laura is around horses, she could be producing positive HCG tests, and maybe she realized that at a younger age, and maybe that's why this has become her scheme. And I'm calling it a scheme because the court has found that she lied. Okay, so no more allegedly and speculation. The court has found these things. So a prior history of cancer could also produce a positive HCG result. Petitioner has a prior history of ovarian cancer that prompted the surgical removal of her right ovary. Familial HCG syndrome can also produce a false positive HCG test. Dr. Deans testified that syndrome is very rare, with only 10 known cases in the world. Horse tranquilizers can create a positive HCG result. Again, she is around horses. Is it possible that she has horse tranquilizers? Potentially, that she could have brought in the bathroom with her and done the pregnancy test. And she's saying she didn't know she was going to have to take a pregnancy test. However, knowing Laura, she probably carries it around with her all the time. I don't know. Here we go. Let me just go ahead and go through Clayton, and then we'll go ahead and jump in the chat. Clayton Echard, this is what the court thought about what he testified to. Respondent denies all allegations of sexual intercourse. Respondent confirms both parties were under the influence of marijuana, but denies being high and further denies memory loss because of marijuana ingestion. Clayton testified that around May 22nd, 2023, he realized his behavior with Laura was unprofessional and he intended to discontinue a sexual relationship with Laura. He testified that upon hearing this, Laura became very emotional. She got broken up with. She is sad. Okay. Clayton testified that he told Laura he had submitted the offers to the seller. Clayton testified he did not believe that Laura was really interested in the properties. When asked if he had received any response, Clayton told Laura that he had not, but he never told Laura the reason why no response had been received because the offers had never been submitted. Clayton made knowingly false statements to Laura about the real estate purchase offer. Clayton testified that they had to find something bad that Clayton did, right? He lied about submitting the offers. Clayton testified that Laura sent him approximately 500 text messages using 13 different phone numbers, threatening to leak information to the media. Clayton testified that petitioner, or Laura, reached out to the son, called his family, co-workers, prior girlfriends, accusing him of being a deadbeat for not supporting her and the twins. There are no twins. You're pregnant. Say he's not supporting you, okay? How do you even know that there's twins? How do you know? You never went to do a sonogram. You could just feel the two just floating around in your uterus, huh? Okay. Clayton testified that he received the video from petitioner and continued to correspond with her over the email string, which would reasonably prompt Laura to advise that she did not send the video, but did not advise of, well, wait a minute. Clayton testified that he received the video from petitioner and continued to correspond with her over that email string, which would reasonably prompt Laura to advise she did not send the video, but she did not advise of that and of that at the time. So basically, the court is saying that if Laura didn't send that video in that email string, but communicated him about with all this other stuff in that same email string, she could have said, oh, I didn't send you that video. How'd you get that video? I think someone else sent that video to you, or whatever it may be. And the court's saying, but she didn't do that. Laura emailed Clayton saying, you can't say you haven't been given a voice when I have told you that I will have an abortion if we try things out for a few weeks. And have a good reason for aborting the child. These words feel what am I reading? These words feel menacing. Oh, sorry. These words feel menacing because you know I like you and want to try things out with you. The email continues. You would be obliging to make the decision to date exclusively before deciding whether or not we have an abortion. Date me and I'll have the abortion. If you don't date me, I'm keeping your kid. That's your ultimatum. That is the ultimatum you're giving to people. Petitioner Laura encouraged Clayton to have sexual intercourse with her, cited she was tight and already pregnant. So, there's no risk and, it's going to be great. Laura further emailed Clayton that he had control of the outcome of the pregnancy if we date exclusively and care for each other. How is this even an option? How is this? If we are in love and we date each other and we love each other, I'm going to get rid of our baby. Like, what kind kind of motivation is this? Oh my gosh. On June 28, 2023, she said, if you think about it, having sex with me is the safest thing you can do at this point. I'm already pregnant, and if we choose to go this route and trust each other enough to have sex, then we are at a point where I would be willing to take an abortion pill. So there's no risk. There has to be somebody else talking to her in her head. Like, there's no way she's coming up with this on her own. Laura told Clayton the twins were a boy and a girl. Laura provided Clayton with a sonogram that was posted on YouTube 7 years ago. Laura admitted to this during her deposition. Laura sent a threatening letter to a respondent to Clayton indicating her intention to sue him for $1.4 million in collateral allegations unless he agreed to dismiss this action that she initiated. Laura signed a release of records for Dr. Jeffrey Blake Higley, MD at Women's Care. In a letter dated March 18, 2024, the provider advised, we have no records of treatment for the dates of services you requested. So she did not go see that doctor. Then they go, let me go ahead and jump in the chat, and then I'll jump into the actual ruling. So those are the facts, all of the facts that the court considered in making her ruling. And then we're going to jump into what the actual ruling was. So let's get Bossy B. And I see in the chat that we have reached our like goal of 100 likes with a super chat from Z Seltzer. Thank you very much. Let me get on. Y'all, I'm getting good at not accidentally pressing the wrong button and turning on the microphone. So thank you, Z Seltzer, for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. We are at 104 likes. Shout out to the BriHive. So you already know what it is. We are going to go ahead and play our like goal animation. And if you are new to the channel, this is your warning that our like goal animation is pretty loud at the beginning. So if you are sensitive to loud noises, this is your time to turn your volume down. I am going to go ahead and play the like goal animation in 3, 2, 1. We have smashed the like button. Okay, thank y'all all for participating and hitting the like button so that we are able to reach our like goal. This is like the 3rd time in a row that we have hit our like goal. So shout out to the BriHive. Yeah, shout out to the BriHive, y'all. Okay, let me go ahead and jump into the chat to see what the people are saying here. Again, Z Seltzer, thank you for the super chat. We got Andrew C saying Laura's money comes from her dad, who before retiring made $1 million a year as a radio host in San Francisco. Oh, poor her. She just wants attention. Andrew C says it's all from her dad. It just trickled down to her mom and Laura as fake jobs and income. That's insane. Boots on the Ground says she does a mental health podcast. I wish like the stream can automatically make like the blinking noise. Hello, bloop, bloop. No way. I don't even want to hear that. Okay. Kristen first says a mental health podcast. Wow. She needs to reconsider. Ivy says podcast is old. Ivy says, yep, but hasn't had a new video in a long time. Just reposting old videos. I see why. Because the mental health is not there. Tiffany says, and I mean, men suck. Let's be real. Why go through all of this for a man? And if he don't want you, you think he gonna want you? Like, okay, let's just say he entertained her and was like, oh yeah, fine, I will be with you, but get an abortion. I'll be with you, but you have to get the abortion. Do you not think he's going to leave as soon as you do the abortion? Or do you think that he's going to stay long enough to actually accidentally get you pregnant? Is that the goal here? I guess that would be the goal here. But if she can't, I don't know. It's stupid. It's just stupid. I don't even have any other explanation for it at this point. But it's like, if he went along with it, do you think he would stay with you? Like, no, he's literally just staying with you so that you would do what you say you were going to do. Oh my gosh. Kimmy Locker says to Tiffany, right in this economy. Exactly. Booth says, Dr. Mitchell has spent too much time in the Phoenix Sun. Absolutely had to. Kristen first says, but did he ever treat patients who got pregnant via blowjob? Good questions. How many? He said you can get pregnant without intercourse. How many people did you treat that got pregnant without intercourse? Give us the stats on that. Boots on the Ground says, I am on my knees praying, grateful that Med Chill didn't deliver my baby. Ivy says, just as ridiculous as Laura's pregnancies. Exactly. Again, Z Seltzer, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Avid Reader Red says, if she was claiming she was pregnant to Clayton, it doesn't take a genius to realize he might want her to take a test. Yeah, exactly. And he's inviting you over. So yeah, I agree. Tiffany says she told an ex several years back she had ovarian cancer and had an ovary removed. She faked all the docs and faked emails between her and the doctor. So did she never get the ovary removed? Tiffany says this ex gave his old laptop with all their communications to a forensic expert to verify it was indeed from Laura, which the expert did, and they put it into evidence in this trial. Tiffany said, so there's docs from Laura saying she had cancer / ovary removed and evidence in the case. Yeah, that's what the court, they found that as a fact. Boots on the Ground says Laura Owens is cray-cray. That's the only conclusion we can come to at this point. Cindy says no OBGYN, but she knows it's twins, boy and girl. Like, I can feel it. I felt pregnant in 3 seconds. As soon as the completion was in my mouth, I was pregnant. Immediately, and it's twins, boys and girls, tonsil twins, actually. It's a new kind of twin, not fraternal, not identical, just tonsil. Oh my gosh. Humbly Right says, I don't think she's crazy. I think she's a calculated maniacal, I can't even say it, maniacal sociopath on an Amber Heard level. No, she's beyond Amber Heard. I'm sorry. Don't know if I'd believe she was capable of the things she's done had Amber Heard not clearly paved the way. She is beyond Amber Heard. I don't care what anyone says. Iowa says she thought if she got him to date her, they'd live happily ever after. No, like, date me and I'll get an abortion is your pitch? That's how you're pitching love? I don't think so. Tiffany says, which ex agreed to do it and then blocked her after she had the abortion? Exactly. Like, why would you not? Like, that would be any man's game plan. But Clayton's like, I'm not getting sucked into this because last time I got sucked into this, I ended up being accused of being a father. I'm not getting sucked into this. It's wild. The jokes write themselves. Jokes write themselves. Missy Ann says Greg Gillespie did just that, ghosted her, and she then took him to court for abortion. That's what she took him to court for? No. Fair for All says you are adorable. Thank you very much. Till my inappropriate jokes come out. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me go ahead and jump into the ruling because I can't anymore. I still got to get to the blog. Oh man, I still got to get to the blog. So I'm probably going to skim through the ruling until I get to the end. So let's do it. Bossy B, where you at, girl? Okay, let's see what we got here. Validity of the petitioner's order for protection. Basically, Clayton, I'm just going to give y'all a summary. Clayton asked for the order of protection to be reconsidered because it was basically given under false pretenses that Laura was pregnant. The court basically goes on to say that they are unable to fix the restraining order because Clayton's actual remedy to have that resolved would have been for him to appeal it, and he is probably beyond the appeal window right now. So the court is not actually going to overturn the request to basically get rid of the restraining order. So she got something out of it. She gets to keep the restraining order against Clayton unless she goes ahead and drops it herself. They then go ahead and analyze the sanctions because Clayton filed a motion for sanctions, but then he withdrew it. So then Laura argued that he can't now ask for sanctions again because he already withdrew his request for sanctions. The court says, so sad, too bad, so sad. I'm still going to give him attorney's fees because there are applicable statutes that allow the courts to order attorney's fees on their own ruling, on their own decision, versus whether someone requested it or not. So she is going to go ahead and award attorney's fees just on her own volition, not necessarily under the statute that Clayton originally filed a request for sanctions under, but then withdrew it. And then they go into the attorney's fees and costs. Again, same thing. She can go ahead and order that on her own without anyone requesting it. So Where was I going with this? I skipped through that. And then now let's get into what the court actually finds. Oh no, this is for... Okay, yeah. Let's get into the court's finding. The court finds there's no substantial disparity in financial resources between the parties. Petitioner did not provide an income and expense declaration, basically, but testified her and her mother collectively earned $200,000 a year. Respondent filed an income and expense declaration on May 15, 2024, citing a monthly income of $12,000 per month and an annual income of $144,000. They making money, okay? The court further finds that petitioner acted unreasonably in litigation. Specifically, petitioner acted unreasonably when she initiated litigation without basis or merit. Okay, so we're getting into needing some attorney's fees because you're filing things that are not that don't have any merit, right? Baseless things you're filing. Without an authentic ultrasound, sonogram, physical examination, and in conjunction with a belief she passed tissue in July 2021 or 2023 and still decided to file this action weeks after when she thought she passed tissue. The court finds the underlying petition premature at best. Okay, here we get into the sassy. The court finds the underlying petition premature at best. At worst, however, fraudulent and made to incite communication, a relationship, or both with respondent. You weirdo, essentially, is what the court is saying. The court further finds that filing a motion seeking mediation for the purpose of telling the respondent that the pregnancies were no longer viable. And love how she put pregnancies because this girl said she was pregnant with twins, but let's go on. That they were no longer viable, disingenuous at best, but certainly misleading to the court. She's calling you disingenuous in a ruling? Like, girl, this is not good for you. If the purpose of the motion was in fact to attend mediation, then the petitioner perjured herself today when she said the purpose of the mediation was to tell respondent about the miscarriage. So first it was that there was no viable, and then now it was to the pregnancy was not viable. That's not that different, the miscarriage and not viable. Or I guess because you're basically saying you're still pregnant, but it's just not a viable pregnancy, so you need like an abortion. Either way, respondent likely incurred costs associated with this litigation prior to retaining counsel, and he is entitled to reimbursement for those costs. The court further finds that petitioner repetitively failed to comply with Rule 49, even on order of this court. Further compounded by the fact that on the day of trial, she testified that she anonymously sought care at a Planned Parenthood in Los Angeles while she failed to provide records of any Planned Parenthood appointment. Anonymous or under an alias, respondent presumably sought records from all Mission Viejo Planned Parenthoods, as that is where, up until today, petitioner disclosed she sought care. This undoubtedly caused respondent to incur substantial legal fees attempting to locate records that may or may not exist in Los Angeles, but now appear to have never existed in Mission Viejo. Additionally, petitioner acknowledged she altered HCG tests and an ultrasound and sonogram. So at least putting some doubt in there that he could be the father. And again, the court calling out that she changed her testimony right there on the stand. Completely inappropriate. The court further finds that the provision of ARS 25324B do not apply because the petition was not filed in good faith. The petition was not grounded in fact or based on law. The petition was filed for an improper purpose, such as to harass the other party, to cause an unnecessary delay, or to increase the cost of litigation to the other party. Okay, the court is eating her up. Here, the court finds petitioner provided false testimony as to the viability of the pregnancy in all three cases addressed in the procedural history. Additionally, prior to her deposition, petitioner sent a threatening letter to respondent indicating her intention to sue him for $1.4 million in collateral allegations unless he agreed to dismiss this action that she initiated. It's kind of like tampering with a witness in a criminal case. You're threatening, make this go away, or I'm going to do something else to you. Can't do that. The court further finds that Laura Owens knowingly presented a false claim, knowingly violated a court order compelling disclosure or discovery, such that an award of attorney's fees and costs is appropriate under this other section. She's finding all the sections to order attorney fees. Yeah, that's what she's doing. Clayton Echard's request for attorney's fees and associated costs with the case number FC2 2023, blah, blah, blah. They granted it. The court further order denied Clayton Echard's request for attorney's fees and costs associated with the order of protection and the harassment hearing, referencing above. So they're not going to give him attorney's fees for the order of protection because he basically should have appealed it and it should have never been put in place. But he didn't do the appeal, so the court doesn't have jurisdiction to really make any judgment, whether that be attorney's fees or overturning the protection order. So he too is under a restraining order because of Laura. But either way it goes, they're not going to make any further decisions regarding the restraining order because Clayton basically missed his window of opportunity there. It is further ordered that Laura Owens shall pay Clayton Echard's reasonable attorney's fees and costs not later than July 8, 2024. Respondent, Clayton and counsel for Clayton Echard shall submit all necessary and appropriate documentation to support an application for an attorney for an award for attorney's fees and costs, including a China doll affidavit and a form of proposed order by no later than July 29th. She has to pay. Okay, they have to do something by July 28th, and then they also have to file by no later than July 29th, Laura Owens shall file any written objection and a form of proposed order. So she has an opportunity to object to the attorney's fees. If Clayton Echard's counsel fails to submit documentation by July 8 of 2023, no fees or costs will be awarded. So Clayton, you better get your attorneys into order and get them attorney's fees. Get that filed before July 8th is what the court is saying. The court shall determine the award and enter judgment upon review of the affidavit as well as the objections. I can't wait to see how much he spent on these things. I really can't. Additional orders that the court is granting. It is further order granting that respondent's petition for non-paternity. So the court found that there's no paternity. It is further ordered that the court, having determined that Lauren Owens has a pattern of similar, if not identical behavior and court involvement, referring this matter to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office for review of Laura Owens' actions pursuant to this statute number. Accordingly, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office will be endorsed on this order. So they are referring her for that perjury. The court must decide the amount of attorney's fees and costs to be awarded, but finds that there is no just reason in delaying making a final order. It is therefore ordered pursuant to 78B Arizona Rules of Family Law Procedure that this is a final judgment and it shall be entered by the clerk. The time for appeal begins upon entry of the judgment by the clerk. For more information, go ahead and see this rule. It is further ordered denying any affirmative relief sought before the date of this order that is not expressly granted above. So basically, these are all the order that she's making. And Laura's attorney better get on it and file in the appeal because she's entering the judgment pretty much immediately. And so he has a time limit. I don't know exactly their time limit in filing an appeal, but he has expressed that he wants to file an appeal, which is just ridiculous. The court has called your client out for being a liar, pants on fire. And the record's going to reflect it. And there has been, what do you call it? A transcription, a court reporter. There's a court reporter. They're going to be able to read everything that was there. They're going to be able to review the entire file. An appeal is not the move. Just let it go, Gringas. Enjoy your enjoy your cruise. Let this lady out of your life. I don't even know why you took this case, but everybody got to make money, I guess. That's all I can say about that. Let's go ahead and see what the chat has to say. And then I'm going to read one of the blogs, and then your girl got to go to bed. Actually, I still need to get some steps in. So maybe go to bed, maybe get some steps in. Let's see how I feel in the morning. Or not in the morning after I get off of here. Let's go ahead and see what the chat has to say. We got Winston W. I like that name, Winston. Did she ever make it clear who told her it was a boy girl twins? Was it supposed to be PP? No, she never said how she knew it was boys and girls, or boy and girl. Vince says to Winston, she listened to her body. Says, "Mommy, I'm a boy. Mommy, I'm a girl." Y'all play too much. Ivy says, I think she said telehealth doctor, but no proof. I don't think she ever said how she figured out it was a boy and a girl. Fair for All says, exactly, Bree. She doesn't even seem to realize how desperate she appears. Men would be running for the hills. Like, I could just leave you alone and you decide whether you're going to keep it or have an abortion. Like, why would I then participate in a fake relationship with you? How could she even feel love from that? We love and care for each other. Girl, I don't love you. I want you to get rid of this baby you claiming you have. Vince says she did a taste test of the two sperm. Y'all play too much. Tiffany says, oh, didn't she say the nurse told her in conversation so it wasn't in the appointment notes? I could be wrong. She said that the nurse told her her due date. That was not in the records. The due date was not in the records. I do remember that. Cindy says to Tiffany, I think that was the due date. Oh, yeah. In no medical records did it ever state her due date. Yeah, that is true. IB says to Tiffany, it might as well have been the elf on the shelf, which is as valid as whatever she claimed, boy/girl. Exactly. Vin says no one believes she was ever pregnant. The court found non-paternity, so that's good enough. Boots on the Ground says she was never pregnant. Sorry once, and while I have to scream that from my sanity. There is no sanity in this case, okay? Ivy says to Boots, I do that every time I read/watch anything on this case. You have to yell. I feel like my voice hurts from yelling. Boots on the Ground says, I would never go on a limb and say she's never been pregnant. Ivy says, Boots laughing. Vince P says, Clayton only had a lawyer for 1 day of the protection order and he won. Dolly Denon says, I would like to know from Rav Jen what the likelihood of someone having 4 pregnancies with 3 sets of twins and test twice, little to no fetal DNA. I don't know. I feel like it'll be like 0%. She's the first. Vince P says, I think they have 30 days to appeal. Okay. As far as the appeal timeline, that sounds right to me, but I just don't know. All the way for them. Kimmy Lockett says she's being referred for both perjury, evidence tampering, which are felonies. Oh, she also got the evidence tampering? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. She freaking changed evidence. Cheryl Reed says it seems that Lara Fafo, I don't know what Fafo means. I don't know what that means. Okay, so Kimmy grabbed articles for us, so I am going to go ahead and check those out. We have Laura's blog and then we have the attorney's post-trial blog. Which one would y'all rather look at, the attorney's blog or Laura's blog? I'm kind of interested in Laura's, but also interested in the attorney's because he's probably doing like a really, really, really bad job as far as not disbarring himself. So let me know which one y'all would rather check out. F around and find out. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's Fafo. That makes sense. Okay, let me know, would y'all rather listen to Gringus or Laura or both? Are they long to whereas we can't do both? Let me see. Oh, that looks long. Laura's looks really long and I can't summarize it. Okay, let's see about Greengrass. How do you say his last name? Greengrass. Why are you still posting? Okay, yeah, they're both long, so we got to do one or the other. If I wasn't convinced before, I am now. Neither one of you deal in reality. Someone's comment. And you cannot have a meaningful in reality conversation with someone like this. Laura needs to focus on her mental health and accept what she did was wrong. You both play dirty. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The comments are kind of funny. Okay, let me see which one y'all would rather cover. Much better / terrible. Andrew C says about Laura's. Oh my gosh. Oh, is that how you say Gingras? I've been calling them Gringus. And no one's correcting me. Okay, we'll go with Laura's because y'all are saying it's bad. It's bad, and we love bad over here. So let's do Laura's. Oh, that was the wrong one. This one's Laura. Okay, so we'll do Laura's. She's quite long, but we'll get through it. It always looks long when you're scrolling, but then when you start actually reading it, it's really not that bad. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out Laura Owens' blog after posted one day ago. It's a 9-minute read. Let's see if I can get through it in 9 minutes. I probably can't because y'all know I can't read, but either way it goes, let's go. We'll get through it eventually, right? Lauren Owens, we are on the Medium blog. When judge plays doctor. Okay. Ignoring 99.9% medical certainty for a 0.1% doubt. Ma'am, the medical expert was up there lying. Like, he was lying just like you, but let's go on. Let's see what Laura has to say. On June 18th, the court ruled that a pregnant woman cannot be considered pregnant unless a judge agrees she is. Okay. Yes, you read that correctly. Apparently, in a twist of medical and judicial logic, not you attacking the judge and y'all gonna appeal this? I am not even 2 sentences in. You're gonna appeal this, and this is what you're writing on the internet? You think this is gonna go well for you in your perjury case, in your evidence tampering case? Do you think this is going to look good for you? They can pull these things. Do you not realize that? Anyways, let's go on. Apparently, in a twist of medical and judicial logic, it is now up to the courts, not doctors, to diagnose pregnancy. You didn't go to a doctor to get diagnosed. Yeah, we're not getting through this in 9 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm already yelling. Despite medical evidence and a 99.9% certainty from an OBGYN who has delivered more than 22,000 babies. I thought you said more than 30,000, but I digress. That I was pregnant. This man reviewed neurological records. He reviewed neurological records. He's retired. He hasn't been a doctor for 2 years. Let's not point that out while you talk about by an OBGYN, by a retired OBGYN who did not even evaluate you. Oh, y'all wanted me to get hyped. That's why y'all wanted me to cover this one. He didn't even evaluate you. And you're relying, he didn't even see you in person. But you're relying on his testimony to a man that didn't even review your HCG test, just based it on you saying that you had positive home HGC test and ignored the fact that you tampered with your actual HGC test that came back with numbers. Girl, get out of here. Let me keep going. Let me try to read a full paragraph without hollering. Okay. Despite medical evidence and a 99.9% certainty from an OBGYN who has delivered more than 22,000 babies that I was pregnant, Judge Mata chose to believe the 0.1% chance that my multiple positive pregnancy tests were due to something other than pregnancy. To add insult to injury, she has referred me to Maricopa County attorney for prosecution. Yes, you also read that correctly. Yes, that is correct. You need to go to jail because you're still out here lying. Like, what is wrong with you? Okay. The ruling came just hours after we notified her of our intention to file a notice for change of judge for cause due to suspected judicial misconduct. Judge Mata's father was present during the trial, which, while not illegal, raises serious concerns. Why? Why would that raise serious concerns? He came to the hearing and sat with the opposing side, the justice for Clayton Echard, even allegedly commenting on them that he was here for the show. Cussing. Okay. So her daddy can't be interested in media? Okay. In an email, and he was in the spillover room. He didn't have a choice of where he was sitting. What are you talking about? In an email sent to Judge Mata's division, my attorney, David Gringus, who is supposed to, I'm still calling him Gringus. It's not even how it's spelled, Bri. I'm adding an R where there's no R. I'm removing an R where there is an R. What's going on? He's supposed to be on a cruise. Why are you emailing anybody and blogging to anyone? Like, are you even having fun? Like, that does not sound like a fun cruise to me. Anyways, in an email sent to Judge Mata's division, my attorney, David Gringras, I'm going with Gringas, wrote, Miss Owens has obtained a video of at least one person making these claims, and that person claims to have directly communicated with Judge Mata's father about this matter. If this claim is true, Miss Owens believes this may warrant a change of judge for cause pursuant to Family Law 6.1. I'm gonna have to look that up. Give me a second, y'all. Family Law, Arizona, Family Law, because her dad was there. 6.1. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know how to read these things. I can't even find 6.1. That doesn't even come up. Rule 6.1. Control find 6.1. No, I can't even find that. He might not even cite it, or she might not even cite it the right thing. Anyways, let me go on. I don't see it. Okay. David requested a direct response from Judge Mata to verify these claims by 5 p.m. the following day, when we plan to file our concerns with the Commission of Judicial Conduct. I couldn't find pursuant to Family Law Rule 6.1. Their numbers aren't even like that. It's like 23 dash something else. I really want to see what the rule says. But anyways, let's go on. 5 p.m. the following day, when we plan to file our concerns with the Commission of Judicial Conduct. Instead of answering his questions, she rushed to deliver her ruling, where she sided almost entirely with Clayton. Because that's where the evidence fell. The rushed decision reeked of this desperate attempt to secure her judgment before we could escalate the challenge to her impartiality. You want a change of judge after the game was already had? I've never seen that done, but let's go ahead. The ruling defies logic, medical evidence, and even Clayton's own version of what happened on the night of our one-night stand last May. If he truly believed that what happened between us that night couldn't have resulted in my pregnancy, why did he invite me over under false pretenses to take a pregnancy test he bought himself in his presence, which came back positive? This kind of deception is considered fraud because he intentionally misled me. Girl! Do we want to talk about intentionally misleading people? Ma'am. Okay, let's go on. After the test turned positive, why did he admit that he would say anything to convince me to have an abortion? Such manipulation is a form of coercion. Oh, not like date me and I'll have an abortion? Okay. As he was trying to pressure me into making a decision against my will. Oh, you mean like how you tried to make him date you in order to get rid of a baby? Well, I don't know. It sounds, similar. Since he's so eager to have me reported to the Maricopa County attorney, I guess I will be reporting him for those prosecutable offenses as well. What? You was not even pregnant, girl. And she can't be sane. She cannot be sane. And why did he let her claim, if it ends up being my child, I've decided that either you'll take 100% custody or it will be put up for adoption. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I didn't try to trap Clayton. He even admitted himself that he wanted to have sex with me, but that I didn't want to sleep with him. I had positive urine and blood pregnancy tests done at medical facilities, which Clayton's side had official copies of after I signed a HIPAA waiver. Judge Mata noted both parties agreed that the test was positive. So why did her ruling punish me? Because you didn't have a sonogram and you tampered with evidence? Maybe. It goes back to the 0.1% chance that Judge Mata chose to believe that my positive pregnancy tests were due to something other than a pregnancy. She speculated that horse tranquilizers could cause a positive HCG test, a claim that was not supported by any evidence. Seriously, Google says it's not true. Google? I mean, I guess because your experts suck, so I guess you have to rely on Google. Although I have openly admitted to using ketamine treatment, which can be used as horse tranquilizer in a medical office for depression in the past, I haven't had that treatment in years. It's not uncommon nor something I am ashamed of. This baseless speculation further highlights the judge's willingness to grasp the straws to undermine my case. She went even further to try to diminish my credibility by claiming that my HCG level could be from a prior history of ovarian cancer. She stated petitioner has a prior history of ovarian cancer that prompted the surgical removal of her right ovary. This is an outright falsehood. Thankfully, I have both ovaries. Thankfully, I have both ovaries and have never had cancer. She also questioned whether I had taken HCG trigger shots despite having no proof. And for good reason. I hadn't. Girl, first of all, you had documentation saying that you had ovarian cancer and you removed the ovary, but now you're saying that the judge is lying that you ever said that when you did say that. This is stressful. Let's go on. I agree with her about the HCG shots. I don't think enough HCG shots. I don't think enough evidence came out as to whether she was actually doing that or not. I know Clayton made a statement about it, but I don't know if that was enough evidence. When I found out I was pregnant, I was lost and didn't know what to do. My depression worsened, making it nearly impossible to think clearly or make decisions. In the ruling, the judge wrote, the court finds failure to seek in-person care for a high-risk pregnancy to be both unreasonable and uncredible. This cold assessment, ignoring the severe depression I was grappling with, which made every moment of my pregnancy an emotional battlefield. In all honesty, the medical care choices I made weren't what I would have chosen in ideal circumstances. Girl, get out of here. If this had been an expected pregnancy, I would have definitely sought proper care, but the circumstances were far from ideal, and the way Clayton treated me was terrible, leading to a restraining order being granted against him. The judge's opinion on what a reasonable person would have done doesn't take this into account, nor does it recognize the immense pressure.
Maybe because you never said that, right? If they asked you, why didn't you go and do these things? You could have said,
Oh, I was so depressed, and I just couldn't bear that he did not want to be the father of my child, so I just never went in person, even though I told you that I went in person up until like December of last year. But now I'm admitting that I never went in person because I was so depressed.
Like, why didn't you just say that on the stand? Because you're making it up as you go. Like, no one's falling for this. No one's falling for this. But let's go on. I digress. Maybe she has supporters that listen to her. Or maybe it's just us reading her blog and getting her some traffic to her website. I don't know. I can imagine that anyone actually supports this lady. Okay. In all, let's see. The judge's opinion on what a reasonable person would have done doesn't take into account, nor does it recognize the immense pressure I was under. You mean the pressure of proving that you was pregnant? It takes 2 seconds to go into the doctor and have a sonogram done. Like, girl, you pulling sonograms off of YouTube. That takes more time than setting up an OBGYN appointment. Come on. Judge Mata then claimed that I have a pattern of similar, if not identical, behavior and referred the case to the Maricopa County Attorney Office for a review. Really? This was the first and only paternity case I have ever filed. Oh my gosh. The legal issues involving two of my exes were entirely different. Yes, I was pregnant by both and had abortions, but the legal matters were unrelated to paternity. With one, it was a restraining order for stalking and violence. With the other, it was a civil case for abortion coercion and an order of protection for cyber stalking, which he never contested. He wanted you to go away. I know people, or I've had cases come into my office. I have cases come into my office where people are okay with getting restraining orders against them, so that the other person that's filing the restraining order will leave them alone. Like, that is a thing, okay? That is a thing. Let me read these chats in the back real quick. Okay, I think Kimmy was able to find the law that I was looking for. There we go. Link to, wait, no, here's the link. Okay. Kimmy found the rule for us. So We'll look at that in just a second. Let's look at that in just a second. Let me close these ones. Okay. So where were we at? Okay. So this was her first case of this kind. So now, if you guys didn't miss it, up above, she was talking about how basically Clayton tried to coerce her to have an abortion, and she's going to report him to the Marion County Attorney Office now. So the same thing that you sued Gillespie for, you're going to now sue Clayton for, or you're going to try to get the DA to press charges against Clayton. Doesn't sound similar to you. You just complained that she's saying you have similar cases, but you're literally alleging that you're going to do the same thing, if not worse, to Clayton for basically the same thing that Gillespie did to you. So I don't know if you're getting any better here, okay? But let's go on. I digress. And of course, both of these exes have jumped on the justice for Clayton bandwagon, frequently violating the protection orders I have against them. Like the one you have against Clayton too. They want revenge on me and see this as their chance. They're now part of the cult-like group who has wholeheartedly embraced them as my victims, trying to smear my reputation and get their orders reversed. Judge Mata, by claiming that my behavior is the problem in Clayton's case, is essentially siding with my two exes and accepting their false narratives as true. That didn't even get into the too much into the testimony, so I don't know what you're talking about other than your lie on the stand, despite having no knowledge of what actually happened with them. She doesn't seem to grasp the differences, and by putting it in writing in a ruling, it doesn't seem like she cares. She stated the petitioner's actions amount to a misuse of the legal system, warranting further investigation. Misuse of the legal system, Arizona law, clearly permits paternity cases to be initiated during pregnancy without prerequisites. Her ruling suggests that any woman who files a paternity case can be punished if the court arbitrarily decides not to believe her regardless of the medical evidence. Ma'am, let's not be dense here. She said, if you would have stuck to your story instead of changing it 45 different times, then the court may have been inclined to believe you. But the fact that you couldn't even keep your story straight is the reason why you're losing here, okay? The overreach didn't stop there. She allowed one of them to appear in court despite a clear and valid California domestic violence restraining order against him. This decision blatantly violated federal law. The Violence Against Women Act mandates that the protective order issued in one state must be honored in another, and she had no right to override such orders without the issuing court's consent. Additionally, there was no valid subpoena, and his attorney had already said he wasn't going to appear. His attorney said he wasn't going to testify, not that he wasn't going to appear. Her actions not only disregarded the law, but also put me in significant emotional distress. Girl, she tried to justify this by stating that the judicial branch security will ensure the safety of all parties while at the Northeast facility. A completely unacceptable and illegal dismissal of the protective orders authority and my legal protection. And why did he need to be a witness for a 2023 paternity case when I hadn't even seen him for since 2018? My goal was to find an amicable solution without involving the courts in July in an effort to resolve things privately. I spent $5,000 for an attorney to act as a mediator between me and Clayton. That didn't work out. You can't force somebody to participate in your pregnancy. You cannot do that. You never needed to file the action. You should have waited till you had your twins. Or you know what? Since you passed tissue in freaking July, maybe you should have realized that, oh my gosh, wow, I'm not pregnant anymore. Let me leave this man alone. But no, you wanted to file mediation requests so that you can talk to him, and you wanted to file motions forcing him to talk to you. The court cannot force him to participate in your pregnancy. Even if the baby was born, the court cannot force him to use his parenting time. So what are you talking about? You tried to come to an amicable solution. Come to my doctor's appointments. The doctor's appointments you didn't even go to. Why would he do that? You didn't even go to the doctor's appointments. Oh, I have the baby. The baby's here now. Come pick your son up. The court can order that he has parenting time, but if he says, I don't want any parenting time, the court's going to say, okay, he has no parenting time. Just pay child support. And then he can, I'm not paying child support. He can just go to jail. He can just go to jail and ignore you for the rest. No, because then you probably try to come visit him in jail. You were probably trying to come visit him in jail. He just went to jail. Here, come play with your ma'am, you cannot force someone to go to your freaking maternity appointments. You couldn't even convince yourself to go to these appointments. So why would you think a court can convince him to go to your appointments? If you wasn't even there. You were not even there. They wouldn't even let him in. They would not have let him in. Let me go on. Try to solve it amicably. Girl, get out of here. I chose not to continue with a lawyer when I filed the case pro se on August 1st of last year because all I wanted was for the judge to force Clayton to take a paternity test. No, you didn't. Why? Why did you need him to take a paternity test when you're 2 days pregnant? Why? And you already passed tissue. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm getting distracted again. Which the mediator didn't have the power to do. Duh. The court doesn't either. They can wait until after the baby comes out. That meant that from the time the case was initiated to December, when it was placed on the dismissal calendar, neither of us had any legal fees when I was confirmed to no longer be pregnant. I took no further action. You mean at the end of December, after you testified in November that you were 100% pregnant? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Oddly enough, once the case was on the dismissal calendar, Clayton decided to hire counsel for the first time. When I then tried to dismiss the case, his side refused and Judge Mata agreed with him. Now I'm being held responsible for his legal fees from December to present day, which are purportedly over $100,000. I believe that. She took it one step further, even ruling that I am liable for fees accrued before he had an attorney, stating the petitioner is liable for the respondent's costs incurred prior to obtaining legal counsel. I agree with her there when the court said, oh, he probably incurred attorney's fees before that. I mean, if he did, sure, he can present evidence, but I don't think that the court had enough evidence to say he probably incurred attorney's fees before that. But either way it goes, we'll see what happens. What fees did he have before he hired a lawyer? Maybe the cost to file his response. Maybe he missed work. Other things can come into place other than the lawyer fees, right? Amidst all this madness, there is a small victory that no one seems to be talking about. Judge Mata upheld the order of protection I have against Clayton. She just said she couldn't touch it. I don't know if she upheld it. She just said she couldn't touch it. The decision was based on the preponderance of evidence that Judge Duty initially found warranted its issuance. Despite Clayton's loud claims of a total win, this restraining order is crucial because it explicitly prevents him from communicating or posting untruth or harassing comments online and causing others to communicate or post untruths or harassing comments regarding me. Yet he is actively breaking this order and inciting his followers against me. No, people have opinions. I don't even know Clayton. I don't even follow him. I'm making my own opinions, lady. Okay. My lawyer predicted the outcome of this case since Judge Mata had consistently ruled against me on every motion filed from the very beginning. David knew we would have to appeal, and he's confident that her decision will get overturned. But the emotional toll this ordeal has taken on me is immeasurable. The stress, anxiety, and depression have been unbearable and exacerbated by a system that seems intent on breaking me. For Judge Mata's father and Clayton supporters, apparently my suffering is just a spectacle. Girl, I can't do this. I can't do this. Judge Mata's ruling appears to be driven by the high-profile nature of the case and Clayton's minor celebrity status. Girl, you want to be a minor celebrity. This is the most traffic your little blog gonna be getting because we're sitting here judging it. It appears to say that filing a paternity case while pregnant, which again is allowed in Arizona law, then attempting to dismiss it later after losing the pregnancy is acting unreasonably when initiating litigation without a basis of merit. No. You being dense again, girl. You're being dense again. What you're in trouble for is one, filing this motion after you claim to have past tissue. Also, going forward with this case after you claim to have an unviable pregnancy and you tried to initiate mediation as if that was the only way that you could have communicated with him when you could have had a lawyer contact him and tell him that, you know what, hey, I'm not pregnant anymore. Can we dismiss the case? And you could have called it a day at that point. But no, because you turned around in November and still said you was 100% pregnant. So what are you talking about? You are unreasonable. You are unreasonable. You never went to the doctor, ever, in person. For a woman that claims that you had 2 abortions, you never went to the doctor? to check anything? You just did a pee test, right? Yay, and a blood draw maybe. Ooh. But you didn't do a sonogram. And then you went and got a sonogram off of YouTube. And then you went and changed the sonogram. Like, girl, get a grip. Get a grip. You are unreasonable. This precedent suggests that a woman can be punished for circumstances beyond her control. No, you're being punished for lying. You're being punished for lying, lady. Should the tragedy of a lost pregnancy be met with legal retribution? No, but lying should. Yeah, lying should. Here's another scenario. In Maricopa County alone, approximately 25% of paternity cases filed each year result in the alleged father being excluded as the biological parent. This means thousands of women annually file paternity cases where DNA tests later prove that the man is not the father. Are we seriously suggesting that these women should be sanctioned, forced to pay attorney's fees, and denied the ability to dismiss their case? Is being wrong truly fraud? No, but what you did was, the court's mission is to seek the truth and ensure justice, not to penalize women for genuine errors or the devastation of miscarriage. Ma'am, you got pregnant through your throat. You got pregnant through your throat. Women, watch out. You can now get pregnant through your mouth. So, don't be doing what Laura did. Don't do it. I am being punished and threatened with the possibility of criminal charges. Boo-hoo. For a case I was fully entitled to bring forward. Yes, you were. If you were pregnant, this ruling sends a terrifying message. Any woman who files a paternity case can be prosecuted if she has. You're spreading false rhetoric still. You're still spreading. I can't even talk. You're still spreading false rhetoric. You're still doing it. Let me put on my Laura voice.
This ruling sends a terrifying message. Any woman who files a paternity test or paternity case can be prosecuted if she has a miscarriage, attempts to drop the legal proceedings, and the court arbitrarily decides not to believe her or not to believe she was pregnant in the first place, regardless of evidence.
You had no evidence. You had no evidence to prove you was pregnant. None. I don't care what you say. You had no evidence, okay?
Even though Arizona law has no prerequisites for filing a paternity test, I have more proof of pregnancy than many other women who file these. With multiple positive tests taken at medical facilities, one
medical facility. That's it. You only had one positive pregnancy test from the medical facilities. The other ones was pee tests at home, in Clayton's bathroom, in your bathroom. Multiple facilities? I thought you had like the 2 negative from the facility and the 1 the positive. And acknowledged by Judge Mata herself. But apparently it doesn't matter what your doctor says, only what the judge thinks. Boo freaking who? Tagging.
Women's rights. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Oh, she only has 836 followers on her blog.
Okay. At least I know there's not a lot of people following her. Okay. No comments? Can you leave comments on this thing? This is horrible. Girl, I believe you even less. Let's go ahead and check out what the law says. Kimmy found it for us. Shout out to Kimmy. Thank you very much. Let's see. Okay. It just did 6.1, but I don't know exactly what section. I don't want to read this whole thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's time limits, actions remanded from appellate, procedure notice, reassignment, absence stipulation. Let's see. Okay. Definitions. Okay. Generally, in each action, whether single or consolidated, each party is entitled as a matter of right to change of judge. That's generally done before the case is heard, though, not afterwards. Notice requirements. A party seeking to change a judge as a matter of right must either file a written notice or make an oral request on the record in the manner provided below. A written notice of change of judge must be served on all parties, the presiding judge, the notice judge, and the court administrator, if any, by any method provided in Rule 43. Let me go ahead and mark this. A statement that the notice is timely under Rule 6D. So we're going to see the time limits. A statement that the notice is timely under Rule 6D, no waiver has occurred under Rule 6E, and the party has not been granted a change of judge as a matter of right previously in the action. The notice cannot specify grounds for the change of the judge. Oral notice, we're not going to talk about that. Okay. Time limits. A party is precluded from obtaining a change of judge as a matter of right unless the party files a timely notice. The notice must be filed 60 or more days before the scheduled contested hearing or trial. Okay. Before the trial, which makes sense to me. Let me see if there's any other exceptions for after the trial has been gone. Okay. If a new judge is assigned within 60 days of the scheduled contested hearing or trial, a notice is timely filed as to the newly assigned judge if filed within 10 days after the party receives notice of the new assignment or within 10 days after the new judge is assigned, whichever is later. If a party has received less than 10 days notice of a proceeding or an assignment of a judge, the party must file a notice of at least 3 days before the proceeding. If a party has received less than 5 days notice of the proceeding or a judge assignment, the party may file a notice to change the judge at any time before the proceeding begins. If the right to change a judge is renewed under Rule 6F, a notice is timely filed within 15 days after the issuance of the appellate court's mandate under the RCAP. Okay. Waiver. A party waives the right to change a judge assigned to preside over any proceeding in an action if the party agrees to assignment, the judge rules on any contested issue, or grants or denies a motion to dispose of any claim or defense if the party had an opportunity to file notice of change of the judge before ruling is made. A resolution management scheduling pretrial or a similar conference begins. A scheduled contested hearing or trial begins. You already waived the right. There's no... Okay. Actions reprimanded from an appellate court. In actions reprimanded from appellate court, the right to change a judge is renewed and no event connected with the first trial constitutes a waiver. Let me see. In the action remanded from appellate court, the right to change a judge is renewed and no event connected to the first trial constitutes waiver. If the appellate decision requires a new trial or contested hearing, and the party seeking a change of judge has not previously exercised the right to change the judge in the action. Procedure is not okay, so you cannot... Green grass, whatever your name is, green grass. I don't know how to say his name. Okay, I'm trying. You cannot do that. You can get it renewed if the trial is then remanded. So if it goes up on appeal and the appeal says, oh no, this is bad, the court basically abused their discretion, I'm gonna remand it back to the trial court. Then at that point, you can ask for a new judge. You cannot ask for a new judge because you didn't like that her daddy was there. Her daddy is a member of the public. He can watch the goddamn, let me get my show if he wants to. He can have an opinion on the case. Just because his daughter is on the case doesn't mean that he can't have an opinion on the case. That was the daddy back there in chambers telling her what to do? Did the daddy write the order? Like, what are you talking? And you can't, the thing about it is you can't even have a reasoning for asking to change the judge. We just read it. You cannot state the reason for changing the judge. And you're mad because her dad was there? Is her dad not allowed to go to any court hearing? Because he was in a spillover room that had people that were supporting Clayton in there. You can't do that. You have to object to it before the hearing, not after the hearing. What are you doing? Now, if you get up onto appeal and they decide that the court abused their discretion, then Gringus, then you can ask for a new judge. You can't do it right now. The contested hearing already happened. Let me go ahead and... I can't believe this. I thought it was just her, but it's her attorney too. Okay, let me see. Dolly Denon says the county attorney would be a fool not to pick this up. It's a slam dunk, easy and big win. And she's still out here spreading stuff. Like she's still talking. Just be quiet, Laura. Just be quiet for like 2 years. come back, rebrand yourself. Just be quiet. Cheryl Reed says, now they're trying to gaslight a wider audience. Girl, she only got 800 followers. Ain't nobody listening to her. Nobody listening to her. Jermaine Down, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate it. Says, if she's gonna post a blog like this, her lawyer should explain consciousness of guilt before she walks her butt right into county. Yeah, both of them. They need to charge the attorney too at this point. Thank you again for the super chat. Kimmy Lockett says to Jermaine Down, her attorney blog isn't much better. He legit addresses Judge Mata and her dad allegedly, but hopefully not right at the beginning. Oh gosh, don't make me look at it, Kimmy. Don't make me look at it. Jermaine Down says, girl, the judge is not required to co-sign your expert's 99.9% opinion. The court can decide what testimony is credible. They found that your expert sucked. He said you can get pregnant just by looking at people. I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. But he basically said you can get pregnant with no intercourse. So don't be breathing too close to people this summer. You don't want to end up pregnant. And next thing is, well, I mean, science might say next thing you're gonna know, the men can be pregnant too, right? Kentari, another member of the channel, saying, Bree, you just made my day. I'm happy. Kentari says, I'm cackling. Yeah, I'm over here acting a fool because of this Laura lady. Cherie says, stop it, Bree. I can't. Tell her to stop. How about that? How about we tell her to stop, Cheryl? It's not me, it's her. Cherie says, and is something seriously wrong with this woman? She either needs prison time or commitment to a mental health facility. She is well on her way to a stalker status and potentially being dangerous. I agree. For sure, dangerous in my opinion. Yeah. Kimmy Locker says, I bet Baby Reindeer hit a little different for Clayton. I haven't watched it. I have not watched it. Cheryl Reed says she seems to forget she was never pregnant. Yes, she was. She had 2 abortions. 1 miscarriage. She was pregnant. Why don't you believe her doctor? Why don't you believe him? Purposeless, he diagnosed her, found that she was pregnant, and never examined her. He never did a sonogram on her at all. And he reviewed neurological records. And he found that she was 99.9% pregnant. How, Sway? How did you find that? Purposeless people says her and her lawyer equals, oh gosh, show. Okay. It's a miss. And her daddy was right. It is a show. And he was there and he could be there. He's a member of the public. Him being there. What does that have to do with her ruling? Missy Ann says, thanks for covering this. You all are great. I've subscribed. See you next time. I'm off to bed. Well, thank you very much. Welcome to the subscriber BriHive hood. I don't know if that's what we want to call it, but welcome and thank you and have a good night. Kimmy Locker says, I think her attorney's blog is worse. Laura's mostly saying what she already said, but he goes after the judge even more. Yeah, I don't have time to go over it today, but I'll look into it. Maybe I'll do a separate reaction video for going through his. Kimmy Locker says, Houseway. Yeah, Houseway. How did you come to that conclusion? How did you find that she was pregnant and you never even did a test on her? You just listened to her saying that she had positive tests, but she just told you that she faked her positive test, or at least changed the numbers on the HGC test. Or I keep saying it backwards, HCG test. Okay, y'all, that is all I have on this nonsense that we call Laura Owens and Clayton's paternity action. He is not the father. We are happy that he's not the father. Let me see. Kimmy Locker says, you should definitely do a reaction video on his blog. That's not that long, and I know you'll go wild. I'm not even prepared. I'm not prepared to do that, but no, I'll do it. I'll try to record it. I don't know when, this weekend maybe. Try to record it and see what his blog is saying. It looks long, but like I said, once you start reading it and scrolling it, it's usually not that long. Island says, Judge Dad didn't say that. YouTuber Megan Fox did, and Gringus too took it from her video. They need to stop watching our YouTube coverage. Cover your case. and cover your client and tell her to just bow out. But the thing is, they both believe the nonsense so much that neither one of them is going to bow out. Like, you don't appeal this. What are you going to appeal? What are you going to appeal? Her dad was in the courtroom. So, like, what are you going to appeal here? She didn't believe my expert. She can use her discretion to do that. You realize that that's literally, if you bring it up on appeal, they're going to say, did Judge Mata abuse her discretion? No, your expert literally got up here and said you can get pregnant without having intercourse. That's enough. That is enough for an appellate court, because they are probably some really educated people that know that you cannot get pregnant with no intercourse. Or at least with no, I mean, I guess you don't need sexual intercourse because you can just turkey baste yourself. Do you want to admit that you turkey baste yourself? You spit it out your mouth, put it in a turkey baster and shot it up there? Is that what you're telling us? So no, I think on appeal, Clayton's going to be just fine. Judge Mata's ruling is going to be just fine. I don't think she abused her discretion. She is in her right not to believe your expert that was apparently delivering 12 babies a day. I'm making that up. Don't quote me on that, y'all. But she is well within her discretion to do that. So anyways, y'all, that is all that I have for tonight. I am still working on trying to get a schedule on getting more content out during the week and doing the live streams on Thursday. So be on the lookout. If I can get anything out, I'll try to do a reaction to Gringus. I know that's not how you say his name, but I'll try to do a reaction to his blog, and then reactions to the Lauren the Mortician and Jeanette Braun's lawsuit against the other TikTokers and their position, and whether the motions to strike and dismiss are going to be granted and what their positions are. So anyways, I hope everyone has a good weekend. Thank you for joining the live stream. We are at 126 likes. So shout out to the BriHive. We smashed the like goal. Shout out to everyone that gave super chat. Thank you very much. And shout out to all the new members and also OG members and also OG subscribers and new subscribers. Welcome to the BriHive, and I will see y'all all